All right, everybody. Sorry about that. I am late. I don't normally run late, but I had some things going on up front. I've got Taylor in the back. We're going to get going here in just a second. Normally, I know I have all the music and everything, but unfortunately, not to. Not, I just didn't do it tonight. We're going to bring Taylor up in a minute, and we're going to have a great interview with her. And just give me one couple of seconds here, just to try to get some stuff going on. It's been a day already. So, Taylor is gone. Not really sure what's going on. It seems like I've had a reset of some kind in my um I've had some kind of reset in my stuff here. All right, Taylor is back. Welcome, Taylor. How are you? Sorry about that.
Sorry, also having technical difficulties, but we're good. How you doing?
It's good. It's good. I'm going to turn your volume up just a hair.
All
There we
right.
go. Try that.
Better?
Better for me anyway. Do I sound okay?
Yeah.
All right, great. So we met at my event at DebateCon, and I didn't really get a chance to talk to you very much. Obviously, you had just flown in, and we're kind of recuperating, and then you had a debate, and then you had to leave. So
It's true. It was a busy weekend. Yeah.
yeah, how did that weekend go for you?
Yeah, it was good. I flew over to LA after I did the Dr. Daft show. They do like a 1v, a Jubilee style kind of thing.
Ah,
So
gotcha.
yeah, 1v20. It was fun.
Mhm.
That was a good one. I'm excited for those to come out. So
Right. That's I've been invited to do those. I don't really have any interest in being one of the 10, and I don't know that I really have any interest in being the one either.
yeah.
So I love the debate, obviously, but
Yeah, it's a weird format. It's a tough format, especially with more people on the other side, because you don't get much time. It's hard to actually flesh out like a proper, line of logic
yeah.
or anything. So
Mhm.
it's more just for clips at the end of the
Sure,
day.
sure. Yeah, I think that's it. You just get the you just get the snippets in, and then we go from there. So, well, I had a great time watching your debate, and we've actually reviewed most of it about a week ago. I had some people, we were watching it and reviewing it, and there were things that I think that you did really well. I actually was really surprised. I thought Stardust did really well live, but when I reviewed it, it was really a one-dimensional argument that she was putting out, and it was really it all came back to just a couple of premises and she didn't really shake off of those. So it's very interesting that she never actually, from what I could tell, kind of avoided directly dealing with your arguments. So it was interesting. It was interesting.
Yeah, I would agree
Um,
with that.
so let's. I don't know anything about you other than what I've gleaned from Gibbs and just some and the 5 minutes that I talked to you or so at the event. So could you walk me through, like, how did you get to where you are now? What who Taylor is?
Sure, yeah. So I'll try to keep it like semi-concise, but I talk a lot about this on my channels and I've done interviews about it, but I was a very leftist, woke, feminist, pro-choice, like for most of my 20s, most of my adult life. So I lived in New York City for all that
Okay.
time. So I was
We have an apartment in Jersey City.
Oh yeah, nice. So I'm a little outside the city now, but yeah, I moved there when I was like 19. So I was just like a dumb kid and
Oh yeah, New York at 19.
and I was like a mess already. Like I had dropped out of college. Like
Mm.
I was not like it was just a bigger playground for me, more substances to do, more,
Oh wow.
tattoos to get. Like it was a bad time, but
Okay.
fun for me at the time, fun. But
Right.
yeah, I had a long period there of like figuring stuff out, going through some dark stuff, struggling with some substance abuse, and then ultimately, well, like I actually was interested in like debate and more social politics around like 2016, 2017. And
Okay.
the thing that got me into it was the transgender issue was like kind
Mm,
of coming on the scene, and I was seeing it a lot like in my social circles. And
okay. And you
I
were
was at
pro or against?
well, it's funny because I was super liberal. I was dating women at the time, so I would have identified like
Mm,
as gay. But
mm,
the contention that was being seen within like the gay community was that transgenderism essentially erased the idea of like sexuality.
sure.
And I
I've heard that
started,
before.
yeah, and that was
And
like, go ahead.
oh, shockingly, most of the actual gay people I know, they
Hmm.
really dislike the
Hmm.
idea of transgenders.
Yeah, they want
They
the
may not
T.
come out and say it because it's
Right.
not kind of politically correct. But if you kind of like, if you're at a party with one and the subject comes up, they might unload on you because
No,
the
totally.
okay, all right.
But
We're on
like,
the same page.
yeah, but like, especially at that time, like you couldn't say that. It was like,
Right.
it was not cool, not woke, obviously. So,
Yeah.
I started to be interested in that, and I remember watching some commentators talk about it, and also this idea of like, the man kind of co-opting the womanhood, and that was like offensive. And because at the time I would have identified more as a feminist, that kind of like, I don't know if you've heard the term TERF, but like a trans
Yeah.
exclusionary, yeah. So that was like, I was called that all the time. And I started like a Twitter page about it, and I actually wrote a few pieces for the Federalist, which was like a pretty conservative leaning outlet.
Yeah.
I think they're still around.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so because I like to write, that's one of my interests. So I actually wrote a few pieces for them and was like talking about this contention within the community and how I think it's a crazy movement. And I did that for about a year, and I was gonna do some panels with people, and then I was getting like eaten alive online, and then
Mm,
like cancel culture really started around then, and like I was still pretty young, and I was like genuinely afraid of like not being able to get a job, or you know, getting all these death threats all the time. Like I just wasn't quite built for it. And I like deleted everything. I shut down my Twitter. I even asked the Federalist, I'm like, can you take my pieces down or take my name off of them? Like I'm getting all these, like
okay.
I was afraid. And they were
Sure.
like, no, why would we do that? So which was fine, but I distanced myself from, being online and all that stuff. So
Hmm.
and then I just kept living my life, and then a lot of other things happened. Well, number one, I grew up, which I think is important. I got older.
Yeah.
I got sober in 2020,
Ah,
so
it's
that was
important.
yeah, that was a big one. Got a clear head, and I went through AA, which like I like to call like Christianity or Catholicism light, where it's like,
Hmm.
you have to go through the steps and kind of do these like acts of contrition almost, where you have to apologize and like
Hmm.
have a higher power. And so I slowly was being exposed to religion and this kind of idea of like something outside myself. And then I eventually was convinced of Christianity and Catholicism over years of like reading C.S. Lewis and listening to debates. And I was very interested in listening to debates all the time. And that's actually how I switched
Okay.
my social position from the pro choice to pro life. I was listening to like Trent Horn have really logical
Ah,
arguments and some of the bigger guys there. And I just love debate. I would listen to them just all the time. And
mhm.
then yeah, just kind of evolved from there. I ended up having a child kind of unexpectedly with a boyfriend at the time in
Mm.
2023. I went back to college at Columbia, so it was like a very liberal university. So I did all these things, and then I got into social media again right around the time Charlie Kirk was killed,
Ah,
because that was a big catalyst for me where by then I had already converted to Catholicism.
so you're
Um,
Catholic.
I am a new
Okay,
Catholic.
gotcha.
Yes, about a year ago I converted, and but before I started doing more public social media stuff, though, I reached out to James for Modern Day Debate, and was like,
Mm,
I want to try a debate. Like I really like listening to these. I think I'd be good at them. I've written. Here's some stuff I've written, and he had me on a few 2v2s to like see if I could handle
okay.
it, and eventually let me do some one-on-ones, which I've done maybe like 6 or 7 with him online. And so I was only doing the debates, but then once Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I was like, fuck this. Like, these people are crazy. Like, it wasn't even the assassination per se. It was, the reaction to it, seeing all these people just being so awful and
we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, like my friends, people I knew, some of my family, like, I was astounded by it. And I was like, I don't care anymore. Like, I think a lot of people felt this way around that time. Like, they're like, you know what? Like, we're not going to be afraid to speak out. So that's when I started making more like content on Instagram and TikTok. And I've written a few pieces for Evie magazine. They're like a conservative girly mag, like for the ladies.
I'm not familiar with it, but
yeah,
magazines themselves are kind of dying. So
they're like an online magazine, but they get some controversy sometimes. But they're like, they try to be like a Vogue for conservatives. So it's for women. So they'll talk about fashion and stuff, but I write a few like, smaller essays for them on social. They're not afraid to talk about like pro-life positions and I've written some like anti-feminist piece for them about, why feminism is stupid. So they're interesting. So that, and then, I told you, the in Dallas, that was my first sort of in-person debate, but that's probably the thing I enjoy most. So I've been really enjoying that.
We'll talk about Dallas here in just a couple minutes. So what would you say your positions are now on, like, obviously you did really pretty well with feminism, and I want to delve into that a little bit as well. But where would you say your positions mostly are now? Are you would you consider yourself far right? Would you consider yourself centrist right? I mean, you are in New York. It's hard, like.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to focus on like social politics. So I have a lot of opinions on, obviously like transgenderism, like gay marriage, surrogacy, everything surrounding procreation, abortion, things like that. Like, what drew me to the kind of anti-feminist discussion was like the kind of maintaining of the nuclear family, things like that. So I feel very educated on like those sort of topics. As far as politics go, like, I would consider myself conservative. I wouldn't consider myself far of anything, far left or far right, more right than centrist, I imagine. Like, I voted for Trump the second time. I'm not like his biggest fan, mainly because I don't enjoy his policies on like abortion. I don't care for him in general. Like, he's like fine. I wish we could have like a classic conservative.
So are you pro-life, or where are you at?
Pro-life. Very, very pro-life, no exceptions. Yeah, I wouldn't consider myself like an abolitionist. That's like a whole different movement. But yeah, very pro-life, anti-IVF, surrogacy, very anti-feminist, obviously, because I think a lot of those other things like come from feminism. So I feel like feminism's like the root of all that. So, but yeah, definitely my favorite topic to debate in general is abortion. I feel the strongest on it, and I'm most passionate about it. I think it's important.
Okay. So one of the interesting things, we have a friend of the show, Pearl Davis, who she is on a mission to expose what she considers to be like the fake trad cons, the conservatives who are actually feminist, and that sort of thing. And actually, she wanted to do a debate with you, and what she was going to see if I could set that up as you were coming back from LA to maybe stop in Dallas again and do it. I would not have been there, but I would have helped out with that. And I said, no, I don't think so. I think it would be a really bad look on me if I were to, have someone who I just had on making the feminist argument and then to call her a feminist. That seems like bad for me. But I would say, and I say this all the time, I think that all women have some feminism in them, and part of it's just being feminine, right? Like you are either feminine or you aren't, and if you are feminine, you will have some feminist takes, right? Like, it may not be like over the top. They may not be something that's critical, like, believing that the genders are equal, or believing that whatever, right? So it may not be like an over the top viewpoint of feminism, but it's hard for me to think of a woman without thinking that there is a little bit of feminism in there. It's just whether it's what I consider the very negative feminism, or if it's the like, which would be like girl power, men suck, we're as good as men. We can do what any, equality and all things, equality of everything. Whether it's that, or whether it's this other version of just being feminine and being soft and actually being a woman. Mm-hmm. So where would you be on that? What do you think about that?
So it's interesting. So a few things. Number one, it's funny because Pearl's about to do a 1v10 in Vegas, and I was actually set to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped out for two reasons. Number one, I was just too busy this month. I just traveled. I have a 3-year-old, so it's her birthday.
I have a 5-year-old.
Oh, nice! It's so.
I have a 5-year-old and a 16-year-old.
It's a fun age. I'm having fun, but she's a lot, and her birthday's like terrorists. The day before, so
they're terrorists.
Yeah, they are. They're like tiny terrorists. And also, I had just done this big travel. I don't travel a lot. It's new for me, like all this running around. So, but I dropped out for that, but also because I read her prompts, and they just didn't like. I don't. It's not that I disagree with Pearl about everything. I've watched a few of her debates. I just didn't think the prompts were serious. They didn't seem like in good faith. So I'm excited to watch that. I have a friend that's doing it. Sure. I'll put it. I'm happy to debate Pearl. The problem I have with the position of like all women are feminists, I guess I just have to understand like what she is meaning by the word feminist. When I defined it in my debate with Stardust, I say it's the rejection of the idea of egalitarianism. So what you're saying of like, the sexes are equal. I agree they're not equal. There's a necessary hierarchy, but also the rejection of a patriarchy. And I think you can reject, there's plenty of women that reject the idea of patriarchy. So she's talking about like speaking out in public and doing all these things, like, I guess, but isn't part of the anti-feminist argument that like women have always done those things and that we didn't need the feminist movement, right? So again, like I probably would just concede to her that like, sure, if she's just going to say that like every woman that wants to have an opinion in a platform is a feminist, like maybe, but I just don't find it.
Yeah, it is a confusing message to say that. I would say that all women have some feminist qualities. That doesn't make them feminist.
Yeah, every person maybe has this want to be treated with like respect or like feel.
Yeah,
like
but I don't think that's anti-feminist though, right?
Yeah, I agree.
I say this all the time. So my wife worked in. My wife is. Well, first of all, let's start with my wife's 11 years younger than me. We've been married 20 years. We've only ever been married to each other. We have 2 kids, one 16, one almost 6.
Yeah.
So 10-year spread there. And my wife's a high performer in life, like high performer. And I often say that the only person my wife submits to is to me. To everyone else, she is absolutely probably terrible. Like she doesn't feel the need to obey random ass men, right? Like that's not what we're talking about. I don't think it's what we're talking about. It should not be.
I don't think so. Yeah.
It should not be what we're talking about. And I think that this idea of servitude, it certainly has its place, right? But I think that what most often is happening is we're confusing what is inside my home and what's outside my home, and the relationship I have with my wife and the relationship that she has with everyone else. No, I absolutely agree that I don't think women have any real reason to have leadership roles in church. I mean, maybe it could be argued, and somebody can make a really good argument for that. I've never heard one. I'm open to listening. I'm open to hearing the argument. I just don't believe you're going to sway me on that. It just seems like that there's this idea of either you have an automaton in a dress that does your bidding and raises the children and doesn't say much, or you have this boss babe bitch. And it's like, no, that's, both of those things are bad.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying it needs to be in the middle either. I think it needs to be probably skewed one direction, but I don't know that because I'm not a woman, right? Like I can only look at this from a man's point of view. And to say that women can't lead men in business or in work or anything like that, I think is a very skewed thing as well, right? Like we have throughout history, we have examples of women who led just fine. For example, the Black Witch of Wall Street, right? I don't know if you know who that is. Hetty, I can't think of her last name. It's very famous, and she was super wealthy. She wore black every day because it was simple. No, she just didn't have to think very much about what to wear every day. And she didn't like to spend money on clothes. She was very frugal. And but she was very, very wealthy. She owned a ton of real estate in New York. She owned businesses in New York. She was in banking, and she actually, really was a very successful woman. And we're talking back in like the 1800s.
Yeah, right.
So when I look back throughout history and I see examples like this, it leads me to believe that what a lot of people are trying to tell me is feminism isn't feminism. And what people try and tell me is patriarchy is not necessarily patriarchy either. And I'm the biggest supporter of patriarchy you'll ever see. I mean, it's literally like the patriarchy is the way. Like there's no doubt in my mind that we've lost that step. And if we can't get it back, we're in for a bad time. So.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the anti-feminist message isn't even that like women can't do anything or they can't like lead, they can't, they're not capable of it. It's that like most of them, like, there's always exceptions. Like there's been strong women, there's been women leading, there's women in these certain jobs that most men do. Like there's always exceptions to the rule, but I think the message is like, women, your priority should be having a family and raising one and your children. And like I feel like I don't even identify as like a tradcon. It's part of the reason I dropped out of the 1v10 with Pearl, because like it was supposed to be Pearl versus 10 tradcons, and I'm like, I wouldn't even identify as that because I'm not traditional. Like I had a baby out of wedlock. I have a very degenerate past. Like I'm very open about it. I don't claim to be some, like I don't know, like picturesque like woman. Like I don't even I don't expect anything. I don't even expect people to not judge it. I just have opinions, and I think even if I even if I were just still like living my life the way I wanted, I can still be right about my positions and still argue effectively, and so that's more what I'm interested in. I entered back into the space knowing that like not only am I going to get hate from liberals because like I have conservative views, but I'm going to get hate from conservatives because I'm not going to be conservative enough. Like I'm a new Catholic. I wasn't always this way. I have a past, like, so there's people that see things so black and white. And so, that's not life. Like certainly there's some women that are capable of grifting and capable of like playing this, role for the camera or whatever, like for their, image. And I don't know, like, again, like, I just like to debate. I like the social issues I care about. And I like to talk to women mainly. Like, I feel like my messaging is to women because I understand the feminists. I understand the leftists because I was one of them for so long. Like, I know how they talk, how they think. And that's why, like, I go on live on TikTok a lot. And I put debate prompts up, and I love when young women come up because I feel like I really genuinely get somewhere with a lot of the women about like, hey,
you have to invite me into one of the spaces sometimes. I'm not. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok very much at all. But on X, I'm on.
I need to try an X one. I've never done an X like live. I just bought like a good computer like 2 days ago. Like I'm so behind with the tech. Like I was like, that's why I'm messaging you. Like I don't know how to even open Discord on my laptop. But. And that's the other thing is like I'm a mom and I put that first. So it's like that's why I do things at 9 p.m. That's why I do things like on a weekend because I have a lot of help with my family and my daughter's father and things. So Um, yeah, it's like, again, like, I'm always happy to debate people that oppose my views. I just like, and I'm happy to
You
debate.
prefer to date women to debate
Yeah,
women on their views and try and it
yeah.
seems like you're kind of maybe trying to win them over to your side to some
Yeah, like,
degree.
that's what I mean by, like, good faith. It's like, or
Mhm.
at least present arguments that I know other people will hear or indulge in. Because 'cause I'll debate men, like, I debated Dean Withers on his live. I debated,
Oh,
like,
really? How
yeah,
was
I've
that?
debated, yeah, it was fun. I mean, he comes on my lives a lot and tries to flex some, like, philosophy language that he learned, like, 5 seconds ago, so he's fun. I have hope for him. I think he'll turn the right way eventually, but and I've debated many men on the abortion issue, but
Sure.
yeah, again, like, I definitely don't present myself as, like, some, like, trad con or whatever. Like, I just,
Right.
I feel like I've lived the life of a degenerate, leftist,
Mhm.
single, did all these things, and now I have a daughter, and I found God, and I'm, like, wanna tell people that that's what they should be doing. That's, like, how I feel. I'm like,
Right.
"Women, no, like, you'll be so much happier. Like, I know you think you don't want all this, but, like, you really do." That's, like, the message.
Yeah, I think that I think that that's interesting. Um, because you know, we all have a history, right? Like I was a degenerate for a very long time. Um, you know, I say that. I mean, I never did. Look, I'm an altar boy compared to a lot of people. I've never drank. I've never done drugs. But I was a womanizer for about 10 years, maybe a little longer. Um, and I actually made a conscious decision to do that because I had some relationships that didn't go work out the way I wanted them to. So I made a conscious decision that like I'm just not going to get married. I'm not. This is it's not for me. So I'm just going to be this guy. And I did that for like 10 years or so. And then it slowly kind of like, yeah, I'm getting a little older. I need to, like maybe this isn't really the path that I want to stay on. Um, and I made a decision to get married. And I was married within a year.
Wow, good for you. Amazing.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Man, my wife is awesome.
She sounds
But
awesome.
sorry.
She sounds awesome
Oh
from
yeah,
the
yeah. Well, if
description,
we're
yeah.
ever in New York, we'll try and have lunch or something. But
Please,
she goes to
yes.
New York more than I do. I don't like New York at all.
Me
So
neither. I don't live in the city, and I did for 10 years, but I don't anymore, and I don't even like going in the city, but I will if I have to.
yeah. No, my wife's office was in Manhattan, and so
Mhm.
we actually had a couple of different apartments or lofts or whatever in Manhattan for a few years, and then the cost was so high. It was like it was cheaper to buy,
Yeah.
and then of course the income tax and then was terrible. Now it's gonna be horrible,
Oh, awful
and
now, yeah.
so we ended up moving across the river into Jersey City, and
Nice.
yeah, yeah. It's I mean like I can see Manhattan from the
Yeah, that's
apartment.
good enough. That's the best part anyway, the view, right?
Yeah, so it's but we don't go there. We actually rent it out now. But I try really hard not to go to New York. So
Yeah, I feel you. Same.
yeah. But so you were doing like and I'm not sure I have the legend right. So you were doing OnlyFans or some other kind of like sex work like that or something like that. I'm
Yeah,
not really sure. So
I was
don't let
doing,
me.
like, I was doing, like, real sex work there for a minute, like,
Oh,
in person, like
oh
this was,
wow.
like, peak, substance use. I've written about this, very open about it. Um, so I did that, for less than a year, kind of in a financial bind at the time in the city. And
Sure.
then, yeah, like, OnlyFans was, the kind of thing, for a minute,
Yeah.
got popular. And, yeah, I kind of fell into it for like a year. Like I had, you know, a big I had a good couple months on there where I was making like a good amount of money, but the thing with it is like obviously it's just awful and like it's soul sucking and like it's not this
That's
like
what I've always
easy
thought about.
thing.
How do they do that? Because it's kind of just like suck the life right out of you.
It doesn't. It's like when you've lived this life so long where it's like all about materialism. It's all about like how can I make money? How can I just when it's like feels easy, I guess, to just sign up for this website and be like, okay, like I'm semi-attractive and I can just, do this sort of easy thing that takes not a lot of work. But then all of a sudden, and like OnlyFans, like they market it, or the marketing is like, you're in control. Like it's about you. It's empowering because it's not this like, leather
Empowering.
couch, creepy, like whatever. Yeah, empowering, right? It's like that's all the feminist language. It's so gross. And then, you're kind of tricked into it, or you're, I mean, I made a choice to do it, and the choice was driven by money. It was, I want to make a quick buck. And it had a few good months, and then it feels hard to walk away from, 5 figures a month. You're like, all right, this is like something as a broke 20-something-year-old I'm like excited about. But yeah, then you realize you're not really in control because the men on there are asking you for the stuff they like. You say you have limits here, and then they're like, no, we want this and we'll pay you this much for it. So all of a sudden, no, the buyer's in control, not you. Like whatever they want, they're gonna get if you actually want to make money. Otherwise, you're gonna just whatever. Most women don't make any money on the website. Also, it's like, very small percentage make more than like a couple $100 bucks.
Something like 1%, 1 or 2% that actually make money.
Right. And to make the real money, you have to be a person. You have to be on Instagram and be public. And like, it just gets more exploitative as you go up. And then, it's just gross. It's like, it's you're just sucked into this world. And yeah, so, I did that I had the website up for like a year, but I stopped after like 4 months or so, and I kind of just left it up because I had some subscribers that were still like doing money, and then I cut it. And then I quit it around the time I was like, curious about Christianity, and I was starting to go to this, Christian, like a non-denominational church actually in the city. And, it was, but it's hard because even as you're converting, you're still like being pulled into the direction of like sin some more. Like it's, it was the same with my sobriety. It's like, yes, I really want to get better. I really want to like be, sanctified and, be good. But it's like, this was the life I had known for most of my life. Like I had done substances and been, in like sleeping around and just, since I was like 16, like it was like my whole life. And it's hard to just break a cycle. But, God can do miraculous things. So I obviously quit that, and then, have been an advocate of like, this is not empowering. This will not give you happiness. Like, yeah, you may make a couple bucks, but like, you're going to regret it because this is something that lives on, and, it's going to hurt your dating prospects, and it's mostly going to hurt you and your soul. So like, don't participate in it. So yeah, I feel very bad for the women that kind of get tricked into these things and feel like it's empowering. And I think it's like 1 in 4 Gen Z women are on OnlyFans or something. Like it's like very high. And, they do it right when they turn 18, and it's just gross. And anyway, it's all feminist fault at the end of the day. But it's, it's pretty dark stuff. So.
What do you think about when people say that if there weren't men to buy it, women wouldn't do it? When people say that, what's your kind of response to that?
Yeah, I don't know, because it's like, sure, like I agree that we live in a culture of degeneracy, like more or less, and the internet makes degeneracy more accessible and maybe normalized.
Oh yeah.
I mean, is there some truth to that? I guess, but I also have this sense or like feeling that like women sort of like lead culture. Like men are the leaders, but women kind of like they set the tone. Like they set the rules. Like right, like their one thing is their sexuality. They can gatekeep their sexuality or not, right? And yes, like men have a duty to be chaste and be good men, and they should be. But it's like that's not an excuse. I don't know. Like you wouldn't use that logic for like really anything else. Like that wouldn't let anything fly. Because all you're kind of admitting is like, again, like it's just there's a price. Like you're against maybe you're against objectification unless it comes at a certain price. Like there's no real values there, right? You're just admitting that there's no real foundational values that you have, that like you're just able to be bought. Like as long as there's a customer, you can be bought. So it's not a good reasoning, but sure, is it disturbing that like the second some famous 18-year-old, turned 18, there was that girl that like turned 18 and then she had like 1 million subscribers in a day. Like, yeah, that speaks to like a sick culture. but no, like women are ultimately responsible for their choices, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of women that know that there's a market out there for OnlyFans and they choose still to not participate, you know?
So like that's some really good, those are really good points there. So when we talk about, for example, um, women gatekeeping sex, right? And I think that's true. Do you think that's still the case, really, though? Because it seems to me like that women are no longer gatekeeping sex. What they're doing is they're leveraging sex. They're seeing what they can get out of using their sexuality for their gain, rather than gatekeeping their sexuality and their basically their like mentality. They're kind of they're leveraging that in ways I think that we haven't seen before. What would you say about that?
No, I agree. I mean, again, like women, a lot of the feminist women, it's all about materialism, right? It's all transactional, right? And that's how
Mhm.
they talk about like motherhood and parenthood too, right? They always talk about like unpaid labor, stuff like that. So everything to them literally is transactional. It's like,
Mhm.
why aren't I getting paid for doing the laundry, right?
Right.
And so again, I think it's a sign of a sick culture. I think it's a sign of women kind of losing sight of their duty,
Mhm.
of their purpose. But yeah, like, dating apps, things like that. I see screenshots on X of women on dating apps being like, send me money, and like, like
Right.
it's like they're becoming like lazy. Like, I don't know, like they're
Yeah.
they're they're succumbing to the temptation of easy materialistic goods. Like, and sure, maybe in a sense they're like disappointed in the men, but
Mhm.
I don't know what men are supposed to do these days. Like, I genuinely feel bad for any man trying to date right now. Mind you, I've been out of the game. I'm a mother. I'm focused on I'm not
Mhm.
I haven't been like in the dating game in like 6 years, something like that. So I don't know
Okay.
what's going on. But
Well, for some reason, I thought that you were married. So
I'm not married. No, I'm not
you're not
married.
married. Okay. For some
No,
reason, in the back of my mind, I thought you were married or newly married. But okay,
not married.
you're
Just
out of the dating market. You're just like totally focused on
yeah,
being you and taking care of your
just
daughter.
taking care of
That's
my kid.
admirable. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, sorry.
that's admirable.
Yeah, I want to just take care of my daughter. I'm trying to I work also, I have a job, and so
Sure.
I do that, and I have family here helping, and my daughter's father, like, we kind of co-parent. I know it's like cringy to say that, but like that's what we do. So
Yeah.
he's in her life. We're just not like together. Anyway, I try not to talk
Okay.
too personally about that, but um
That's okay.
yeah, I'm not married. Another hit for my TradCon title. So um yes, I'm out of the dating game, but I do see a lot of the way the young feminist women talk about men. Like, it's all transactional. It's all, what can they do for me? And it's very rarely like, what can I do for them? What can and I
Right.
think it
What
comes
do I
back to
bring
that.
to the table? Right. Like
Yeah.
that's what men I think really like. Like that's the piece that I think women are missing when they start thinking about the men that they date. Is they're thinking about what does he do for me? What can I get out of this deal? And they're not
Yeah.
thinking about what do I bring to this table other than, and I say this all the time, so I'm not being especially crass because you're here, but what do women bring to the table other than three usable holes and a bad attitude, right?
Not much. I agreed.
Like
That's what I say. I feel bad for the men dating these
yeah,
days. It's like, and it's like, not even like, what do I bring? It's not like, what can we build together? Like, there's no
sure,
even like
yeah,
future looking, because
mhm,
they don't want kids. They're not even having kids anymore. They just want to work at their jobs and make a lot of money. And yeah, there's just like a lot of narcissism, and it's gross. And it leads to a lot of
it
these
is
social
gross.
issues we talk to. Like, it add like it makes abortion okay, because it's like, I'm the self and I owe nothing to nobody, not even the kid in my womb. Feminism, it's all about
Yeah,
me, me, me. So, I mean,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
yeah,
It is somewhat insane, really, the way that
yeah,
it's going, and um I don't know if you're really familiar with the Whatever podcast, but
hmm
a few years ago, my son was turning, I think, like 13 or 14.
hmm
And I'm like, oh crap, he's gonna be dating soon. I should figure out what these young hussies are are doing, what the mindset is. And I don't know how but I found the whatever podcast, and I there's no telling how much I've super chatted to that channel. But what was really clear to me, like right out of the gate, was how really bad young women are.
Mhm.
Like really bad.
Yeah.
Like the mentality, the desperation, the absolute. I mean, you say it's transactional. I'm going to say it's like it's almost like it's almost criminal behavior, right? Like they're not thinking about what can we build. You're like you said, what can we build together? What can how can I bring this man peace? What there is, what can I get out of this dude?
Right.
Like what can I take? What can I take from you? And it's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane.
That kind of woman, like the whatever podcast woman, that's definitely more common these. Like that type of woman seems to be becoming more popular, especially in like the coastal cities, like the big kind of liberal, like the New Yorks, the LAs, all these things. If I can offer a little bit of hope, like when I went on the Dr. Daff show on Saturday, that was the abortion debate. It was 1v20 pro-life, or sorry, 1 pro-choice versus 20 pro-life. I met 19 young women, most of them were like under 25, Christian, pro-life, God-fearing, like all from like the Midwest, like Idaho and like Utah and like all these other places. So like these women exist, and
yes.
And so again, why I kind of reject the notion that like everyone's a feminist, because it's like, like everyone on the whatever podcast is a feminist, everyone in probably like New York is a feminist, like for the most part. But like I of course I concede that like those types of women are becoming more popular. That mentality is becoming more popular outside with any secular woman, and even like progressive Christians. But there's still some good women, but of course there's just more good men, unfortunately. Like that's the truth. Is there's less women for the men.
That's an interesting point, right? Like there's a lot of men. I'm in the red pill space. I'm not red pill, but I'm in that space quite often. And there's like a lot of men out there who are like, well, most men will never actually procreate because they can't even get a date. I think that's a cop out personally. I think that there are women out there that are looking for good relationships and looking for good men. If you're not putting yourself out there, then you're never going to find it. If you're not looking looking at what people's actions really are, you're never going to find it. And I think the same thing goes, but actually, let me rephrase. I don't think the same is true for young women. I think for young women, it's really rough because they're constantly having to compete against other women who are absolutely terrible. And let's say you have a class of women, and there are 80 women in the class, right? For the graduating senior class at a high school. 75 of them are going to be actually decent human beings that want to have a family, want to go out, have a life, create things, live a good life. There will be 5 to 10 of them that are absolute demons. That will, and the problem with women, tell me if you agree. The biggest problem I see with women in, especially in the younger age groups, is there's a crab in the bucket mentality. If you start having a good relationship, and let's say that you have a friend group of women that's like 4 to 8 women, right? It seems to be a typical friend group size, right? Y'all go to the movies together, you go get your hair done together, you go get your nails done, whatever. Go to dinner, whatever. And one of them starts dating someone seriously, at least 2 or 3 of the women in that group will try and torpedo that relationship.
Totally, yeah.
100% of the time, it's going to happen. And I think, and so it's weird that women blame men when they really, I think, ought to be blaming other women. I think that they're really like, it's just crab in a butt. Like you're trying to get out, you're trying to be a better you, and these women want to drag you back down because they don't want you to succeed, because then that means that it highlights their failure.
100%. And they also kind of contribute to this idea of like, if he wanted to, he would, or that's the bare minimum. Like, they kind of make these expectations like impossible for the men. And then, yeah, when like just like a normal guy doing a normal job with like normal values shows up, it's like, girl, you can do better. And like, it's like it's like self-sabotage. And yeah, again, like social media kind of proliferates this idea as well of
Absolutely
like,
plays into that. Yeah.
yeah, so 100% agree. Women sabotage each other. It's awful. Like, women are awful to each other, and women, the nastiest messages I get are from women. Like, women are vicious. They can be, it's like psychologically.
They're absolutely vicious. Like,
Yeah.
and they're. I mean, I generically refer to women as canned evil, right?
And when they're evil, they're evil. Like, it's like there's a level that it's like, whoa. I mean, yeah. So I just want women, to stop being evil and to wake up to their kind of duties and to the light and to the light side. And I see how these women talk about men, about abortion, about babies in the womb, the messages I get. And I'm like, even when I was like such a piece of shit, like so degenerate, like couldn't care less about myself or like really anyone else, I was never like that. I was never sending people death threats or like sabotaging my friends. Like I don't know what's going on with that, but yeah, a lot of it is like, insecurity, jealousy, like things like that. But yeah, I mean, I tend to have a more positive view of women in general, or hopeful view of women than like the red pillars and things like that. But
I do too. I mean, I know a lot of really good. I know a lot of really good women. I freely admit that I know a lot of really good young women. I also know that those young women have friends that are canned evil. Like they're just going to they're going to hold them back. They're going to say that dude does. Oh, you mean he hasn't called yet? Why hasn't he called? Or he called you already? Desperate. He's
I know. Can't win.
Screw that guy. You can do better. And they anytime it basically and I not as much anymore, but in my career, I used to actually hear young women say, well, you could do better. And every time I heard you could do better, I knew that they were lying. Like they were literally lying. Like they're lying they're gaslighting that girl so that she will torch a relationship that is probably really good for that woman.
Right.
But they don't want that to happen. Like they just can't stand it.
Well, that's what you're saying about them not wanting to succeed. And I actually experienced the same thing getting sober, as I had friends.
Oh, yes.
Women. Oh, really? You're not, but you can drink. What are you talking about? You can have another. You're not going to drink anymore. What are we going to do? Like, he literally like try to talk me out of sobriety. And I'm like,
yes.
Like, I know, like, hello.
You're supposed to be my friend. What's going on here?
Yeah. It's like, come on. Like, I might die. Like, this is not good. So yeah, then there was only women doing that, so.
So you're in your late 20s, early 30s, something like that?
I'll be 33 in October.
33, okay. So when you and obviously you have a child, so it's different now, but when you are in the dating marketplace, what are you looking at in the men that you're dating and the women that are around you? Obviously you said that you dated women.
That was like a stage.
Apparently that's a phase.
It was a phase. Yeah. I wrote about that. Yeah. I will non-controversially say that I think for the most part, sexuality is a choice of behavior. Like, it's especially among women. That's a hot take, maybe, but yeah, that's. No,
actually, I would agree. I knew girls. I knew girls way back when I was in school that were just basically pretend lesbian. My opinion, my observation was that they were pretend lesbian.
Yeah.
Right. Like they dated girls. I'm sure that they had exploits with girls. But I think the last I checked, most of them have been married at least once.
Yeah.
So right.
I call it like the comorbidity of sins, like it's like when you tend towards one thing, the other things just make sense. Like when you're just drinking to excess, when you're, being a like degenerate, promiscuous woman, like, sure, let's try, gay stuff. Let's try that. It's just like all kind of fits and like kind of feeds off each other, these decisions. So
once you kill one inhibition, the others are on life support, right?
Especially when you're in a city and among a community that will validate literally every choice you make as long as it's
Sure.
aligned with like their liberal values and not, being a Christian or conservative or something, because that's like the worst sin for them. But like, yeah, they're cheering you on, they're encouraging it, they're introducing you to new things, and it's like hard to escape it. But yeah, the dating scene as I look around, like I don't know, like I, I'm not interested in dating, like I said, and if I ever was going to be, like, I first of all have no expectations for. I'm not like I need a guy that's gonna do this, because it's like I know what I come with. Like I know my past. I know I
Mm,
have a kid. Like I think it's really unrealistic. And that's what I tell the women about OnlyFans. It's like don't expect every man to be okay with that, especially the good ones. Even if you're done
right.
with it, like a lot of men aren't going to be okay with that, and that's fine. Like I have no expectations of that. I understand, and so, and I have a young kid, so it's like I know the statistics on like
Oh, yes.
stepfathers and things, so it's
Yeah.
like I am in no rush to like do anything, if ever. I mean, you know, I'd like more kids maybe, but it's like I feel blessed to even have my daughter given my circumstances. So it's like
Okay.
I'm under no, delusion of it. Obviously I'd want to meet someone Catholic. I that's something I'm very passionate about and
Sure.
things. So, but as I look around, I'm in my 30s. Most of my friends are parents, so most of them are married. Like,
Mhm.
you know, I I know a lot of people, friends that are still in the city, I guess, that are single. They all use the dating apps, but it's rough. I don't
Mm.
hear any good stories. I mean, that might also be like a New York problem. Like it's like specifically hard here. No one wants to settle down here. No one
Yeah,
is
I think New
serious.
York is very degenerate, so
Oh
I
yeah.
could 100% see that being a
Yeah.
problem. Yeah, that seems like it would be. What? Okay, so those are some serious challenges. That's not You're not making that up, so that's going to be
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
You said something really interesting there that obviously you need to take care of your you have a daughter now,
Mhm.
so you're gonna always have that in the back of your mind no matter what. And as it happens that right before I married my wife, um, before I started dating her, I was dating uh, this lady that she had a daughter that I think she was like 8 or 9. I forget her exact age, but
Mhm.
um, and I like really cared about this woman, and I had that it. I don't think most men would do this, but and I've told my chat knows this art, but I spent a week arguing with myself and like doing introspective reasoning to see if I felt like I could actually be a stepfather.
Yeah.
Because the dad of that kid was still in the picture, and I didn't know how
Mhm.
that was going to work out. And there was some I didn't have any kids, and I never really thought about having kids. And I got understood that I was a pretty selfish human being at that point in time, and I just knew that about myself. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I mean, this is tough. This is a tough ask, right?
Yeah.
And I had a stepfather who was not ready to be a father when
Mm.
he married my mom, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
It was like I was literally like 18 before he and I even got close to getting along,
Oh, yeah.
right?
That's tough.
And it was just just my entire childhood of and memories of this stepfather relationship was just not good.
Yeah.
And so
No, 100%. I'm a child of divorce as well. I had a bad stepfather, and I have no interest in putting my kid through anything similar. And it's like, are there good men out there that can step up to be a
absolutely there are.
stepfather?
Yeah, 100%.
Hun
There are.
Yes. But, you know, if I ever even decide to go down that path, it's like, like I don't even know. I can't even imagine doing it. So it's like, but
Yeah.
it's like discernment. Like I like to think I'm an okay judge of character, but I mean, I don't know. It's scary out there. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah,
It is
and like I
actually. It's
said,
really
dating
scary is
sucks.
exactly the right word. Scary is
Yeah.
exactly the right word. It is scary out there. If it isn't the people who are faking completely, it's the fact that they're some sort of deviant or they're secretly alcoholic or
Yeah.
whatever it is, like
Something's
there's
hiding.
a lot of
Yeah.
stuff, right? A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. I'm so glad that I'm I mean, you know, I mean, like, I'm really, really glad that I'm in a position I'm in. But
Yeah.
so what's so you like to debate feminism? What else do you debate? What else besides that?
So my favorite thing to debate is probably abortion.
Okay,
That seems to be falling out of fashion a little bit, but some of the
people are tired of
pro-choice,
losing.
yeah, but it's interesting because some of the pro-choice debaters are getting better, and it's funny because I did a debate with a guy who we kind of did like a good faith debate where it was really like a conversation, and he made a good point that was like the pro-choicers like didn't really have to think about their position for so long because they had, you know, before the overturning of Roe v. Wade, it was just like the status quo that abortion was fine
Yes.
and it was like the norm. And so suddenly Roe v. Wade gets overturned and like they have to like actually be able to argue their position and not just rely on like, you know, the old
Yes.
platitudes. Meanwhile, the pro-lifers have been like, they have their arsenal of arguments and things. And so I do find that some of the pro-choicers are coming with some better arguments. I mean, they're not good, but they're like better. And so it's fun to kind of go with, you know, toe to toe with that. But yeah, the surface level crap of like the bodily autonomy and like whatever, like that stuff's old. Like we already know how to deal with that, and it's
Right.
ridiculous. But I when I go on like TikTok live or something, I actually do like to debate those kind of surface level topics with younger women. You know, it'll be like college women will come up and talk to me about it. And that because it's easy to like show them the flaws in those arguments. And then I do feel like I plant seeds or get wheels turning because it's so unsound, you know, their logic. So yeah, abortion, feminism seems to be very popular right now as a debate topic. So that's fun. It's fun to because there's so many aspects of it, you know, where people can go with it, talk about the history, economics, or whatever, you know. And I done a few on like transgenderism, but that feels over. So I don't know, but
Yeah,
I'm not
I get it.
yeah, I would. I'm not sure I'll ever be a good enough theologian to debate religion, though I do enjoy listening to religious debates. But I think the men are better at that anyway, so I kind of just would rather.
I don't argue religion, actually. I don't debate religion because I don't feel like I'm qualified.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
like
it's
one
tough.
of those arguments that's now I argue. Now I say that, but I like Glenn Lawrence, who's a good friend of mine. I'm actually surprised he's not like bothering me from the chat. He may have had enough for the day. But Glenn, who was at the event, you met him, the really big guy. So you know he has a degree in theology. He's you know he's studied and knows all of this stuff really well. And so he and I argue back and forth all the time. And I really just because of the logic part of it, I'm really good with the logic part of it. And so it really forces him to iron out his arguments.
Yeah.
And so I personally, I mean, I'll debate anything. I don't care. It's just let's argue. I love to argue.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. I love arguing as a kid too. You know, my parents were always like, "You're gonna be a lawyer," but I'm like, I just want to argue. Like, so debate's just fun. Like,
yeah, for sure. What so what? I mean, we covered a good bit here. Who do you dislike arguing? Or you just wouldn't take the argument. Like if somebody hit you up and said, "Hey, I want to argue. This person wants to argue." Who and what would you just not have any interest at all in arguing?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, if I just don't feel qualified, you know, I mean, there's even some debaters, like even on a topic that I'm feel good about, that I'd probably be like, oh, I'm gonna lose this. I probably do it anyway, but like, you know, I'm relatively new to the debating in general, so I don't like to act like I can just do anything. Like, which is why I like doing them more and getting better. And but yeah, I don't know. I mean, typically like the bad faith, like I just want to do a show to, you know, like this isn't even about the arguments, it's just about making you look bad, or you know, I don't know. I guess I've never seen her. I've never like the Pearl debate. I kind of like denied just because I found the prompt so ridiculous that I just was like, there's no way she can be arguing in good faith. Like, maybe that's the one person I've been like, no, though, like, if it were maybe easier for me to get to that, like, wherever it was, Vegas, maybe I would have done it. But yeah, there's some people where I'm like, I think this person just wants to put on a show, and I don't even know if they believe what they're saying. Like, that kind of debate where I'm like, if I don't really even believe that they believe it, then like, what are we doing here? But yeah, so I guess the bad faith, though I don't have proof that she's arguing in bad faith. I just I saw the prompts to choose from, and I was like, I don't know if I feel good about arguing any of these because they all just seem ridiculous, and I genuinely don't think she believes this. But
well, I think she genuinely does believe it, but
then I'm interested to hear, and I'm going to watch it. And if she ever actually did want to debate, I would. I'm just would have a lot of questions.
Yeah, we can maybe set that up. So do you watch a lot of debates to like get better at it? Okay. Whose debates do you want?
I love I've watched probably every Trent Horn debate. Not even because I agree with everything he says, but he is just one of the clearest like logicians. Like he's so good at like just explaining his points simply. He has the best hypotheticals. I've stolen so many of his hypotheticals for the abortion debates. Like, I think I've read all his books on like debating. I've read all his books on Catholicism. Like, he really convinced me to go Catholic. And so I listen to him a lot. I'll listen to really any topic from modern day debate or any of the big ones that I'm interested in. Feminism, abortion. I like the religion debates. I love when the Catholics or the Orthodox take on the Protestants. Like, I love that. I listen to the Wilsons. I love Andrew and Rachel, and I read Rachel's book. I think they're also great in their own way. Like Jay Dyer, I like listening to him. I like all that kind of group, like the Orthodox, the Catholics. Like, I'm trying to think of anyone else, but yeah, I'll listen. I'll tolerate some of the like Jubilee style stuff sometimes, just out of curiosity, though. And some of the bigger pro-life people I'll listen to, because I just am interested in the topic. But yeah, it's like feels like a hot kind of sport right now. So there's a lot of good stuff out there.
Yeah, well, I think so debate in and of itself, I think, is doing better, right? It's just it was kind of it's been out of fashion for a while, and then it's kind of, especially these blood sport type debates are much more common, I guess you would say, right? Like I prefer the blood sport style debates myself, and it's that's just my preference. I really enjoy it, and it's really what's the word I would use? I mean, I just get a kick out of it, and I can argue either side of the argument. So that's I think one thing that a lot of people do that they ought not do is they get really pigeonholed. And I one of the things I really enjoy doing is like telling the other person how to argue their point.
Yeah. I end up doing
really
that.
Good. There's a really good. That's not a good argument. Try this argument. It's gonna be
that's
better.
what I do on TikTok Live all the time. I'll be like, I think what you're trying to say that would be a better argument is this, because like that is fun.
Yeah, your argument. That's a terrible argument. Try this one. It's gonna work better. One. So yeah. So what have you debated on Modern Day Debate?
I did a panel once about like leftist violence versus right violence, like who's more violent, left or right. There was a bunch of people on that. I did a 2v2 with Jake Rattlesnake, and
nice.
We did a transgender one. I've done three on feminism. A lot of it behind paywalls, unfortunately, and I can't even watch them. But a few on feminism. One I did so poorly on, like when I first started feminism, like it was so bad. But and then I did 2 on abortion. And I think that's it. And then I keep bothering James, but he's like, no one cares about abortion anymore, and I have to find someone like good for feminism. So that seems to be the hot topic. But And then I've done a few with Sarah from the Raging Tomato. I've been on like a few of
Yeah,
her
yeah.
panels, and
We used to be pretty good friends, and then you know, she had the falling out with Andrew and everything, and there's some other stuff going on, but yeah,
yeah, I
pretty
did
familiar
a
with
that was recently, and it was like a few months ago. I had no idea about any drama until very recently, and I try to stay off the internet, like
it.
unless I'm posting or doing something. Like I'm trying to preserve some of my brain, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I stayed as neutral as I could for about a year and a half, 2 years, and lately I've been caught into some drama. You know, we'll figure out where I go from here on that stuff, but it's all right. It's no big deal. So
yeah, it's a big space, so a lot of stuff always going on, but
yeah, it is a big space. I think it's interesting how people compete for audience share when they ought not be doing that, because
yeah,
it's there's a lot of audience out there, like a lot.
yeah, I know. I realize that as I'm creating more content, I'm like, wow, there's just endless people to reach, and it feels like there's not, but there really is.
Yeah. So this has been pretty good. I know that I'm trying to be a little bit respectful of your time. I know that
Yeah, no worries.
you were needing to go fairly soon. Um, what what's next? I mean, what's the next thing? You just got back from the trip out west, right? And you've been back what, about a week or so. And
Mhm.
so what's next? What's the next big thing for you?
Yeah, I'm hoping to. Well, I'm gonna see how the Dr. Daft clips go and those, and I hope to be invited back because they're great and like that's such a cool platform and like they're very fun and they know what they're doing over there. And
Hmm.
I've applied for a few like the Jubilee ones and things like that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I met a lot of great pro-life women, and I'm hoping to do some work with them. I would love to do some more like in-person debates. Trying to write some more. Yeah, it's like I've only been doing this about a year and my plate is full. Like, I have a job,
Good.
I have my daughter.
Yeah.
My ultimate goal, like something I'm really trying to work on, is I would love to write a book. I consider
Mhm.
myself a strong writer. I don't know if people even read books anymore, but like I love writing, and I've always wanted to write like a memoir or something of the
Sure.
sort. And I've wanted to do that since I was like in my 20s, like young 20s. So, um, yeah, I part of me kind of wanted to build this following as a catalyst just to be able to publish a book and be like, look, I have a
Ah,
following and you can here's a built-in audience. So debate is really like become something I'm very interested in. So um yeah, I mean I've been posting every day on TikTok and Instagram and
mhm.
just I kind of just see where that goes. I just started a YouTube channel where I do more long form videos, but
Okay.
um yeah, I'm trying to just do it all, but my travel is a bit limited with how, I'm gonna have a toddler, so it's hard, but
Mhm.
yeah, I like, I'm just trying to get out
Yeah.
there. Just crazy with these Jubilee things and all that. Like the people doing these are so young, like
Yeah.
um
I can't get into the Jubilee thing. It's probably just because I'm old. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm very old.
it does feel like I'm too old as well. And a lot of these kids, like I met them, especially even at like the one I just did, like the girl we were debating, she's like 22, 23, and like they all are in this kind of their own little club there in LA where they do the Jubilee and like they're so young and they have all this energy to like be the next Charlie Kirk or the next whatever, and
Mhm.
it's great. But yeah, I don't feel like that's me because like I am older,
Sure.
but I really enjoy writing, I really enjoy debating. So whatever lets me do that. And
Assuming going forward that things continue to work the way they have been, I'll be doing more live debates. And actually, I haven't been doing it the last few weeks because I've been so busy, and one of my a couple of my judges have been out and things like that. So um, we haven't been doing it for a little bit, but we're um, both Gibbs and I do a debate format, like a competition, and
mm, that's fun.
I do a short format debate um, competition where it's about 7 minutes per round.
Okay.
So each of you, it's a little bit longer. So each of you get 2 minutes or pardon me, a minute for an opening statement. So if I give you
Okay.
a topic like um, you know, I don't know. We could give you a topic like we would just and they're random topics. So it'd be like feminism is the bane of the West or something, right?
Mhm.
And you would each get 1 minute for an opening,
Mhm.
5 minutes of back and forth, and then 1 minute each closing. So
Wow.
9 minutes.
That's it.
And then you're judged by 3 judges
Mhm.
on how well you presented your arguments, and each judge has a different rubric. So one
Mm.
weekend it might be that you're being judged on how logical your arguments were.
Right.
The next week it might be how your rhetoric was, like how bombastic were you? Were you like destroying your opponent's points without even really making any sense at all, right? But
Right.
so you don't know what those 3 judges are judging on, and so that we've done that.
That's
And
fun.
uh, we need to start doing that again. I honestly don't really have time. My schedule's changing a little bit with the way my kids' school and everything is.
Mhm.
I may hand that off to somebody else because it's a really good thing. It's a really really good thing. But you're welcome to come play on Saturday nights
Would
if you have.
love. I do. As long as it's nighttime, I have time.
Oh
So
yeah, it's nighttime.
yeah,
And then
yeah.
I've got Arna Anonymous says, would you have a bad feeling security wise debating notoriously followed debaters like Hassan Fuentes or Destiny?
Bad feeling. I mean, I guess I always have a bad feeling, like in general, like at being a mom and like, seeing how crazy certain people are. But no, I mean, not really. Again, like I feel like gotta have some bravery in the face of these
Yeah,
things. So, and a
yeah,
lot of these things are pretty well secured, especially if it was someone big like that. Though, like, Hassan Piker, I'm not
yeah.
great at politics in general.
Mm.
Fuentes, I'm not even sure what we more or less disagree on. Destiny, he's too strong for me. Like he's the one on abortion that I'm like, I would feel challenged on, but
Mm.
I think I could still do it. But he talks real fast, so who knows?
He talks very fast, and yes, I've debated Destiny.
Nice,
I need,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, I would do
I
it,
need to
but
debate him. I need to debate him so I debated him in a panel debate that was
mhm.
set up by it was set up to make Destiny look good, and it did not make him look good.
Nice.
Um,
Love to hear
and
it.
but mainly because I brought Enrique Tarrio. It was a January 6th debate, which Destiny's
Okay,
like the expert on, and
yeah,
I brought Enrique Tarrio to the debate. So
that's amazing. I would love
literally
to
the
watch
leader
that.
of the literally the leader of the Proud Boys is there debating. It's like, well, Destiny, you can talk about this in theory, but I was actually locked up.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah,
Yeah,
I will watch that. I will if you send that to me.
yeah.
That sounds
I'll have to
amazing.
find it. I think I probably did restream it. So it's probably I never delete anything.
Nice.
Um, so are you looking to like, um, when you're looking into this debate sphere, are you looking at it as just kind of a diversion, something to kind of fill, fill time in your life because you've got these things to say, and you just, I guess you kind of have some time to do it in, or is this just something that you feel like you just need to do?
No, I feel very passionate about it, and I
Mm.
I I entered it, about a year ago, and I didn't even know if I'd be good at it. Like I'm like I know I have opinions. I know I can write well. Will this translate? Will I be able to have a back and forth? And there's so many things I can work on and do better. And I have a hard time. I wouldn't like the kind of blood sports thing. Like I have a hard time, really pinning people or making a show of it. But I do feel like I can be logical, and I feel like
Sure.
it's especially on feminism. I don't feel as strong on that topic as something like abortion. But no, those two topics particularly, I feel like it's important to have young women voices, especially about feminism. But no, I feel very passionate about it, and I feel good about it, and obviously it's fun, but and I like don't have the time to do it, but I do it. So it's like I no, it's very,
Okay.
I love
So,
to do it.
all right. So in the short time period of time that you've been doing it, do you feel like you've moved the needle any? Have you had somebody come up after a debate and say your arguments really like they hit home?
I mean, I've had on, well, it's hard with like, because a lot of these debates are virtual, so I'll like read the YouTube comments or whatever. But, on Instagram, TikTok, I get plenty of messages from young women that are like, hey, like, that was interesting, this video you made, because I'll make videos just about my arguments in general about feminism, abortion, things like that. Or people feel sort of attached to my story. They'll say, hey, I was also a degenerate leftist. I also switched from left to right. I also converted to Christianity. This was all like those videos and testimonies seem people relate to that. But I'll have women in my comments like send me hate messages. And if I'm like in a good enough mood, I will like interact with them and like bring them down. And then I've even hopped on calls with some of these women and been like, let me just explain where I'm coming from. Because like, I think like, I know why you're feeling so angry, but like, I have less patience for that these days because it's just like, it gets exhausting. But particularly on TikTok lives, when I'm really talking one-on-one with people, I've had women be like, wow, okay. We actually last night, me and a friend of mine who's pro-life, we changed a guy's mind. Like he had this position. He was like, well, you guys got me there. Like literally he was like, I have nothing to say. Like I feel like I'm on your side now. Like he was like, we did it. So those one-on-ones feel good. But knowing that I change all my positions from watching debates, like that kind of gives me inspiration, like knowing like, okay, so maybe I won't know directly, but maybe a young woman will be like, okay, this was convincing, or she used to think like me, and like how did she change her mind? And because that's ultimately how I came to most of my conclusions, was listening to the arguments and picking which one felt right and most logical.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay. That's good stuff. I mean, honestly, it's hard to for me, I do this because it's fun, right?
Yeah, and it's fun.
I'm not, I'm not making a career of it. I'm not trying to pay bills with it. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just like, this is just fun.
I love when people accuse me of that. They're like, you're just doing it for the money. It's like, first of all, like if I wanted to do it for the money, I'd be a leftist. I'd be a fake leftist because they make the real money. Like my $8 a month I get off of TikTok funds is really paying my bills.
Yeah, right. But it's interesting how different people have different viewpoints on all of this. Well, there are people who think that they're going to and some people do pay their bills.
Yeah, definitely.
On this. And I actually used to do pretty decently earning wise on here, and then it's just not been. I guess maybe I kind of ignored it for a little while and just hadn't bounced back, which is fine.
Yeah.
But it seems like that you're in kind of got your head in the right space. What do you feel like that going forward that you really need to do to build on all of this?
I just need more consistency. Like I finally invested in like a computer, like actual equipment. Like I was literally on my like Chromebook webcam. If you look at my old debates, like I look like crap because I'm just like on a $200 laptop. Like, and so I'm investing a little more into it. I'm trying to do the long form YouTube videos, like just be consistent, not get discouraged. I've been posting every day for a year and I've accrued a good following. Like, and I just keep saying yes to stuff. I don't think I've said no to anything. Like, I'll have random radio shows that are like, have like small viewerships. And I'm like, sure. Like everything. I'm just like trying to do as much as I can that fits in my schedule and just be open to things. And,
how did the video from the debate do? That's actually, I didn't even occur to me to ask you. How did the video from your debate?
My YouTube channel is very small. It's like the thing that I don't have. I have like 1,000 subscribers maybe. It got like a few hundred views on my channel. I downloaded it. But I just uploaded a testimony of a story and it got like better views. But I did have a guy clip some of the debate with Stardust. And those videos did well on like TikTok and Instagram and stuff. So people were interested in that. So
I need to. I keep saying I need a clipper. I got to start taking this a little more seriously.
Stuff like that, clipping and doing that. I don't know how to do it, so that's why I'm like investing in software and like trying to learn how to video edit because I'm like I don't know. I'm bad at technology.
Okay. All right. What did you? So the first live debate, you've given me a little bit of feedback on it. What was your? Because you came in kind of later in the day. You and Stardust were going to ride together, and then you weren't. And then so what was your overall feeling about the event? What did you like about it? What did you hate about it? Just walk me through what your. Well, first of all, you accepted it, which was good, because we really needed a female to. I didn't want to put. It always looks bad to me to have a dude debating a woman on feminism.
Yeah.
I really want a unless it's a like you debating a dude, that's different because it's on you're anti-feminist, but
right.
It's weird working the other direction, and so I was very, very glad that we were able to get you booked in and make everything work out the way it needed to. So walk me through from when you. Why did you agree? What was your mindset like? How much research did you do? Just walk me through how that all happened for you.
Yeah, I mean, you guys reached out a couple weeks before, maybe?
Yeah. As soon as we could. Yeah, we had somebody locked in, and then which happens. There was some other things happen, and then they were like, I don't want to debate this topic. I want to debate this topic, and I don't want to debate this person because what they really wanted was not something I want. So I didn't want a friendly fire exercise, right? Like I didn't want a righty versus a right.
You did tell me that. I remember.
Yeah, I didn't want that. So I made, and so we ended up Stardust had already paid her for a plane ticket. She had already paid for a hotel room or whatever. And I was like, we can't not make this right.
Yeah, so, that's tough.
So we were glad that you said yes.
Yeah, I mean, you guys reached out, and it was just funny because I was the Dr. F thing. Like, I had agreed to do a Saturday show, and then they asked me to also do a Sunday show, and so I work, so I had to take time off, and I was like, it's a lot for me, but I was already going to LA, that Saturday, and you guys reached out, and I was like, no, like I already booked, and I'm so cheap. I booked non-refundable tickets, and I'm already going to be in LA Saturday, and I can't like go to Dallas and go back to New York and then go to LA. Like it was too much. So you guys helped, make it work. And I was obviously nervous. I'd never done it in person, and more nervous for you guys' event than the Dr. Daft thing because that's 1v20. I'm like, it's not just me, So I was definitely nervous. Never done in person before. I tried to find some debates Stardust had done. I watched some panels she was on, and I actually listened to one of her debates, and she ended up using like the exact same opening in ours, which I was thankful for because it's hard with feminism because it can go any direction really. Like I did one where she only focused on like women's healthcare, and I was like not prepped for that. Like it was strange. And so I was like, hopefully this is something, I can handle. So
she basically kept debating to the no chump left behind.
Right. Yeah. And it was just,
which is a weird tactic.
Yeah. Like all about the exceptions and, it was very strange. And so I tried to have a few points of mine in mind that I wanted to drill into her and just be like, well, what are women's duties is always my, go-to for that and trying to show the ridiculousness of that. Or like proving that for her, it all comes down to choice and that just the ability to choose and any choice is a good choice. Right. And so, that I tried to prep with that. But the event itself was great. I had never seen anything like that. And you guys were so like, you guys had it all, like the studio was great. Like everything was good. I felt very welcome there. And I liked watching the live debates and the setup was cool. And the topics were great. And I actually, it's funny because like I left like right after the debate and then my flight got delayed 3 hours. So I was like, I should have stayed and like, because I really wanted to watch a few of the debates, but I was already at the airport and Yeah, it was actually a day. The worst part was my travel day, but otherwise,
Yeah.
it was great. So the actual debate, I felt good about it, not great.
Mhm.
Like, I think as a woman, like I think women in general, but me as a woman, it's hard for me to make the kill sometimes. Like,
Mm.
it's hard for me to the blood sporty thing where it's like, it's hard for me sometimes to note
To
that
get that
moment.
clippable moment, to get the
Yeah, and like
zinger.
note that moment where I'm like, that's she can't get out of this if I say this. It's like chess, where it's like I have a hard time identifying with that. And I think with practice I'll get better at it,
Mhm.
especially about feminism. With abortion I feel much stronger. But
Mhm.
yeah, there was a few like a guy came up to me after he's like, "You could have pinned her on this." And I'm like, "Probably."
I did
Like,
that.
yeah, cuz I'm like
Ye Yeah, it was like your argument was really tight. It really
yeah.
was, except you had an opportunity to just really, like, destroy the argument, and it was, and you just let it go, and I was like, "No, no, don't do that."
I know, and I've done, and it's criticism I've heard before, especially on feminism, because I think I don't feel as confident on it that I'm
Mm,
so in my own head thinking about what am I gonna say, what am I gonna think about. Like I need to slow down and focus on what they're saying and focus more on because with abortion, that's all I do is I only go into their worldview and point of view and
mhm,
grill them until they realize the absurdity of their position. But on feminism, I have a harder time because I do feel like the feminism debate necessitates data and facts and proving the history wrong, where you have to delve into some of the details of like my worldview of how I'm seeing it versus
mhm.
just drilling them on theirs. Whether that's true or not, maybe it's not, but that's how I feel when I go into it. Um, so yeah, I felt good, not great, but I definitely feel like I did better than her. So I was like, that's fine. Like I just her arguments were
Yeah.
not great. So
That's an interesting because see, I think feminism is way more about the feelings and less about the facts than
mhm.
abortion. Abortion is all about the numbers, the facts, the figures, the you can we know how it affects women. We've got all the studies. With feminism, it's all about worldview. It's all about how that person sitting across from you sees the world. If they see and which Stardust did, Stardust started out with we're not victims, but then everything that she said after that was to identify a victim class and
Mhm.
basically say, well, we can't have this guy out here because what about them? We can't.
Right.
Again, the no chump left behind. What about these women that can't do this or these women that can't do that?
Right.
And so I thought you did really, really well. It would have been better if you had identified the no chump. Well, hey, that's the and I use that term. Nobody else uses that term. Don't use
Yeah.
that term because it's going to make you sound
Yeah.
terrible. You're going to sound like a terrible
Yeah.
person. But
That's
it's the nobody left behind. Like we don't want some people just are going to be in their own and they want to be on their own. So why are we trying
right.
to pull these people into this that they don't want to do? And I just it really helps. And it's not a zinger thing. I think that you're looking at like the zinger thing that probably works really well in abortion arguments because again they're so fact based.
Mhm.
Whereas in a worldview argument, the zingers are usually just taking those pieces and saying, no, that's not what it is, and identifying what you're doing here is the no chump left behind argument, or what you're really trying to say is that X is the case, and that is in fact not the case. So
Right.
breaking down worldview and feminism can be really hard because a lot of the things that feminism um, says sounds very reasonable,
Correct. Correct. I
very
find that
like,
hard. Yes.
oh yeah, I could
On
see
its face,
that.
it's a really good ideology to say, yes, we want equality, we want these things. Like,
Yeah,
yes, it does sound good. I think
right.
that's
Oh
what
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
where it's, yeah. I'm like, I
That's
feel
where
like
you
I have,
have to destroy that worldview.
yeah.
When she says, "Well, I'm not," and a lot of times they'll say, "Well, we're not really talking about actual equality." Okay, what is then? Why are you using the word equality, right?
Right.
So we're still so we are talking about there's levels here, and let's identify those and get into those, and you can diffuse a lot of their arguments with in feminism and other things that have to do with worldview that way.
Right.
And a lot of times you can, if you watch like Andrew Wilson and some others, they'll do an internal critique. Jay Dyer is really good at this, where they actually go in and they look at why they have that worldview.
Right.
And then they just break it down where their worldview is illogical and it doesn't track with what they're just saying things. They don't actually believe it. This isn't their actual viewpoint. What their viewpoint actually is what their viewpoint is not really feminism. It's the superiority of women, right? They don't want, they're not even talking about egalitarianism. They're talking about, pro woman, girl power, whatever, all the time. And so you can break down those worldviews really easily that way. And you have the talent to do that because you're very quick. And you're very clear. So I think that's really good.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm just sorry. I get into this, like I get rolling and then I just run my mouth too much.
No, I just appreciate it. That's kind.
But I felt like I didn't get to watch a lot of the argument. I was gauging the arguments based off of how much energy was being put out and returned back and forth. And all of the arguments seemed to be really good. When I went back and watched them, and I haven't watched them all yet, your debate and the Father Joseph debate were two of the ones that I thought were like really, really good.
I was watching that live at the airport actually because my flight was delayed. Yeah, clips of it out here and there waiting.
Oh, I wish I was there.
I the whole time I'm like, why am I stuck at this airport for 3 hours? So, but yes, that was great. That was a good one. I agree. That was fun. And feminism, especially with women, does have good energy with the back and forth. And I found Stardust very nice and kind. And
Stardust was awesome.
Yeah, she's great.
A lot of times with especially with leftists, we don't know what we're going to get.
Totally.
We don't know whether we're going to get some like vengeful, spiteful, fake person, or if we're going to get like somebody that is actually pretty okay. And I like Stardust. Stardust had me concerned because she was a little bit like when she got there, she seemed kind of not frail, not really the right word, but like
frazzled maybe.
She was like frazzled. She needed to go somewhere quiet, get herself centered or whatever. And I was like, uh-oh. Like I've heard this before.
She's not well.
Right. You were like, aha, gotcha.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, right. Why not? Right. Yeah. But it was honestly, it was I was glad that she brought as much energy as she did. I wish she'd been able to stay longer. I think that she had look, I would love your opinion on this. When I do these events, I try and have so this is where I bring leftist, centrist, anybody can come in. You're all safe here. We're not, like obviously I'm a very conservative person, but you're not going to have people mocking you openly or anything. Like everybody's going to be very polite and very, kind and shake hands, break bread, have food, and we can make the arguments, and then you can go back and talk shit online all you want to.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to foster. Right. Like, and I think it's really important to me that we have these lefties that they can feel like they can come there, and I'm not just drama farming them to get them to rage quit or anything like that. Like I want to have actually really good debates.
Yeah.
And so, but unfortunately, I feel like that a lot of the online spaces and even the what we're seeing is in the online space, especially, and even in the real world debates, we're seeing the leftists just not being treated very well when they come out to do these debates, and they respond by not coming back.
Right.
What's up, Jake 90 Wait out in chat? Good to see you. I'm sorry, I've ignored the chat this whole time. We don't have very many people in here tonight. It is a low volume night for some reason, mainly because there was something big going on all day, and everybody's probably had all of their YouTube time already, but
Fair.
Yeah, so it's very interesting that other organizations are having trouble getting leftists.
Yeah.
I didn't have any trouble getting leftists.
No, I mean, it's, I always commend leftists, especially for going to an environment where they maybe know that the audience is going to be skewed against them. I mean, that certainly was probably the case there. I think there were certainly more conservatives there than not. And so, I commend Stardust for going, and like, that's brave. And yeah, it can feel, in the, like, there's post Charlie Kirk, it's like, I feel like it's important for people to understand that, like, especially in the debate sphere, it's like people just like the arguments. Like, you can be friends, you can be cordial. Like, even when we were filming the 1v20, on Saturday, it's like we were chatting with our opponent after and friends. It's like these are people at the end of the day. And, Stardust and I were chatting after, and, we were going to take a ride to the airport together. Like, it was like fine, So, I don't know. I thought it was a great welcoming environment, especially when people just respect the, art of debate, and like, we're just here to have the arguments. We're not here to just like, be rude or anything like that. So like, that was great. I feel like James does a great job with that. Like at like DebateCon and stuff, like that's great. So, I commend the lefties. I don't know if I would have had the courage to do it as a leftist. So,
what, since you were there, just from feedback from somebody who came in and this was there, for most of you guys, it was your first live debate. Like the only people that had actually debated sitting across from somebody live was Jake Var, the little Mexican guy.
Yeah.
Tyler, the guy with glasses, taller.
Oh yeah, I remember.
So Tyler, Jake Var, and Wicked Wally, which was the guy with the like red shirt. He may have left by the time you even got there because
I don't know.
He had things to do. He was the very first debate of the day.
Okay.
And so they were the only three that had debated live.
Oh wow.
Everybody else is their first time. And that's one of the reasons why I try and run the event the way I do, because it was, a lot of times these guys are, and girls, first time stepping up there and having a moderator sitting right there in front of you and doing all this. And this was the first time that we had done the pre and post debate interviews. That was the first time we had done that. I think it worked well. We need to refine that. So any feedback you have for me on that would be great. Before you do that, I'm going to tell Jake what you've missed. Well, this is Taylor. Taylor is a reformed degenerate. She's now a Catholic, God-fearing woman who lives somewhere in New York. And she was at my event a few weeks ago in Dallas, Texas. She debated feminism. She was the anti-feminist debating the feminist. She did an excellent job, I thought. And so we had her on because she's lived a very interesting life. And I'm sure that I'll watch this back through, or I'll go, as soon as I leave out of here, I'll think, I should have asked her this, but we'll definitely have Taylor on as many times as she wants to come on. And that's what you've missed. We can go in and you can watch the playback when you get the answers. Arno says, Taylor, thanks. Interesting and professional answers.
Oh, thank you. I try. Keep it professional.
So overall, what do you think about the, like, were you there for the food?
I was. Thank God for that. So I grew up in Virginia. I don't know if I mentioned that. So I missed some like actual barbecue situation. Certainly can't get that in New York. So
there's like one place.
They try, but it's not the same. So yes, the food was excellent and I was very happy. It got me through my awful travel day.
Wonderful.
Yeah, but the event itself I think was great. Obviously there's always like technical issues. I think you guys had some issues at the front, like whatever.
Yeah.
But I agree with your own criticism of tightening up the pre-post whatever. Like that was fun. Like I think that was great. But no, I mean truly, like no notes. I mean, I thought it was great. Everyone was kind. Like, the studio space was great. I mean, the mod, like the
That was an
debates
interesting
were
venue,
great.
right? Like, were you
Yeah.
what it was probably different than what you were expecting.
I had no idea what to expect. Part of me was like, maybe we'll be like just sitting at a table live streaming. Like, I didn't even really know for certain if there was gonna be like an audience. Like, I guess I did once you sent me like an Eventbrite. I'm like, okay, there's gonna be like people here, but I didn't know how many people. I didn't know if it was like, yeah,
You never know how many people.
yeah, of course. I had no idea what to expect. But no, I thought it was great. I thought you guys were very like, you were, professional. You knew what you're doing. You had everything on the timeline, and the shirts were awesome. Everyone was loving the shirt
Oh,
that I
great.
took.
Yeah, I think we still have a few of those left. Not very many, but we have a few of those left.
They were awesome. I love mine, and I wear it, and I feel amazing to have a shirt with my face on it. So I feel like I've made it where I'm like, there's a shirt with my face on it. So no, it was genuinely fun, and like, just that's like what I came away from it. Like, I was like, this was just fun. Like, debate, good people, good food. Like, I just genuinely wish I could have stayed longer. Like, truly, I was at the airport. Like, I wish I was there listening to more debates.
Oh, that's awesome. That both as I'm sad and happy at the same. I'm sad you were there, but I'm happy that you wanted to be hanging out with us.
I did, definitely.
The venue. So I always pick very interesting venues. This one was a little more challenging than what I thought it was going to be, just because of how we wanted to do it. But it worked out. It worked out beautifully, and we have more room than we needed. We had, like it really worked out. I thought, and the only my criticisms is that one of the things I do or I've done is I try all the equipment before we even leave.
Right.
And in this case, we had 3 different people's equipment working. And so, like, one of the cameras, as a matter of fact, I think the camera that was focused on you was my camera. The camera that was focused in the center was my camera. The camera that was focused on the other side was somebody else's camera. And that was being run through a switcher that wasn't mine. And then a computer that wasn't so it was all like,
it's tricky.
We had to do a little bit of troubleshooting, and none of us thought we were going to have to do any troubleshooting, because we do this every day. Like, well, I know it, plug it in and it works. And in this case, it was like, we plugged it in, we installed software, we ran a dedicated Ethernet cable, we did everything we could, and it was still like, this is not working. And but then we got it figured out, and then I think it went really, really well. Overall, I really enjoyed all of the debates. Now that I've gotten a chance to see them, because I don't.
Right.
And I was too busy. I get my steps in during debate day, so I'm all over the place. But it was I guess my impression of you at the event was that you were really quiet, and you were just kind of like over there, kind of just doing your own thing.
Before, I was so nervous. I was like, I was just prepping. I was like in my notes, like genuinely, like I'm always a little nervous before debates, even the online ones, because I know they're online and I'm in my basement, so it's like a little chill. But like, it's still live, and I'm still nervous. But like this, I was like, girl, if you fumble, like, these are people watching you. Like, this was new for me, so I was genuinely nervous.
I was told that the setup actually made people nervous, because it was like all the cameras, all the lights.
Oh, that didn't bother me.
I didn't
know. Because I didn't care about that, but I cared about the audience. Like, I was like, there's people here, and there's debaters here. Like, there's like people that have debated.
Yeah.
I didn't know most people hadn't done a live debate. I'm like, these people are people that debate probably a lot more than I have, a lot longer than I have. There's people that are in the space feeling, like the imposter syndrome mode, where I'm like,
gotcha.
So it's like, I can't, I want to make a good impression, these things. So I was very, very nervous, and I didn't have as much time to prep as I wanted. Like, I was feeling like a little bit underprepared, but as I always am, but in the sense that, like,
I think that's pretty normal. But
like, I'll never feel
you did well. Everybody did wonderfully, actually. Like,
Yeah.
it was really great. I think Gibbs, the moderator, has a lot to do with that because he's just like, I just get in there and debate, like he's
Right.
Gibbs did very well. And I
He's
think
fun.
the one of the things that's funny is like almost everybody. So the mics that we were using, they're my mics, and they have a button on them. This one doesn't. This one's a different mic, but the mics that we use for these events, they have a button on them so that you can mute it.
Right.
And people would get up and they would mute it because they don't want to hear. They want people to hear them like banging around and stuff.
Right.
And then the next people would come over, and everybody the first time people would start talking is there's no audio because
that happened to me in my opening. Two sentences in, they're like, "Turn your mic on." I was like, "Oh no!" And then I had to turn my
just
mic
push
on.
the button.
Yeah, which whatever. Yeah, it's fine. I find that like in general, like I've done live events, I've done public speaking, I've been in front of cameras. Like I modeled for a minute. Like what job haven't I done, honestly? But like it's the prep that always makes me more nervous. Yeah. It's the anticipation. Once I'm up there, I feel fine. I'm like, all right. Especially once I'm like, all right, I know her arguments there. I can deal with them. But it's the build up where I'm like, what if I just don't know what to say?
Fall on your face.
Yeah.
Don't fall on your face. That's bad.
Don't want to do that.
Yeah. So what's next for you? What's your next event? Where are you going to be? What are you going to be doing?
So yeah, I was gonna be in Vegas for the 1v10 Pearl, and I unfortunately dropped out, which I don't like to do. I was kind of a maybe anyway, and I was like, I just genuinely, because of all the travel, I was so tired, and I'm not a traveler. I hate flying. I'm like a really terrified flyer, and it's hard for me to get away from everything. So it just wasn't working out. But I did tell Sean, who's hosting that I would do a debate in January. I think there's like a very liberal content creator doing a 1v10. So I said I would do that one like for sure. So definitely gonna do that in January. Otherwise nothing like, I have, there's a great radio station. What is their name? Relevant Radio. They do Catholic media. So
okay.
You should look into them. They're great. I do.
I'm Southern Baptist, so I don't really.
Okay.
I don't get the Catholic thing very much.
I actually don't know if they're fully Catholic. I know they're Christian, but I know the woman I talk to, they have a bunch of shows. But the woman she has me on like once every few months, and so I'm doing that I think next week. But I try to write a few articles a month for Evie, and just keep making content. I'm gonna focus a lot on my longer form YouTube videos, so I'm gonna see how that goes. But yeah, if a debate pops up, we'll see. I mean, I'm always open to that. So
we are looking to potentially do another live event in Orlando in October.
Fun. That's a lot closer for me. So
yeah, right. That's a much cheaper ticket. I think that
it is
from like LaGuardia to Orlando is probably, or even Tampa or what? Not Tampa. Miami, whatever the next nearest airport is probably like $200 or something.
Yeah, it's easy, super easy.
Can't be that
much shorter flight.
Yeah. So, but we're looking at doing that. Nothing official yet, but reach out and we'll keep you up to date. We're looking to do. I'm actually this time we were supposed to have 2 female debates. And we were only able to actually secure one, not because women cancel more. It's just there's just fewer of them in the space.
Yeah, totally.
And just the logistics. The logistics for men is very easy because a lot of them are single. They don't care. They just do whatever they want.
Right.
The logistics for women's a little different. Many of them have families or. They take care of children such as yourself or something like that. And so I'm finding out that having women that are worth having in the debate is very difficult.
Yeah, I imagine.
I could get a bunch of lefty psycho hose beasts. That's no problem.
Yeah, they don't got kids. They can come.
They don't have kids. They don't. They're very much motivated to be in front of a camera. The other problem is a lot of the debaters that we reached out to last time was like, yeah, I'm not really motivated to do that. Like I'm happy being at home and sitting at home and doing it in front of my camera.
I know. It's like when people work remotely, they're like, why am I going to the office? It's like, I don't
Yeah,
want to
and
travel. Yeah, I
and
get it. It's hard.
yeah, yeah, and so it's a different phenomenon with women, to be honest.
They just
With
want to be
men, it's
home. That's what I'm saying. They just want
yeah,
to be home.
they just want to be home, whether they admit it or not. They just want to be
Yep.
home. But unless they're psycho hose beast, and in which case, that's no big deal.
Yeah.
So let's see. I normally go a little bit longer. I know that. Are you good? Are you
I got a little more time. Yeah.
a little more
I'm
time?
good. Yeah.
Let me see if I can get Glenn to jump on for a minute, and maybe he has some cool stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed that event.
That was great.
Everybody. I mean, obviously, this is the second one that we've done. We did the first one in Nashville, where I live,
Oh,
and
nice.
with modern day debate again. We're going to break from modern day debate, so we're on the fence about doing this event in Orlando. A couple of reasons for that. The first reason is the having it before modern day debate is somewhat clunky because I can't always, like this time I wasn't even able to go to the debates at modern day debate, which
Oh,
was
really?
yeah, it was annoying. It was really like I was unhappy
Yeah,
about
those look good. I was patiently waiting for them to be released on YouTube for the past week, so I've been watching those, but it's been fun.
Yeah, I really wanted to. The problem is that I had my oldest son. We were we had a bunch of stuff going on, and I had to get. We've been in Florida for like a week. I was back 3 days. I had to go to Texas. I got as soon as the event was over, I literally packed all my gear up, and I was on a plane the next morning back to Tennessee because my son had aviation camp, and I had to drive
Oh,
him
cool.
from Tennessee to Alabama. So
Oh,
I was in
geez.
like four or five states in the space of like 2 weeks, or
Wow.
and just really, really I kind of wore myself out, but
Oh, yeah. That's a lot.
and so it just it just kind of worked out that way that and I had planned to be there the whole week. I had planned to
Right.
get there.
Right.
I had planned to get there Thursday, which I did, and
Mhm.
then leave Monday and late Monday, like maybe even Tuesday morning, because normally I do, I get, I set my event up, we run our event, then I'm there for the 2 days of modern day debate, Saturday and
Mhm.
Sunday. And then Monday, I take everybody out for a range day. We go shoot some guns, fellowship, hang out, everybody's cool. And I was like pumped. I had everything set up and it was going to be great. And then my wife's like, um, you got to take Aiden down to Alabama to go to camp. And I'm like,
Oops.
which means I have to fly back. I had to
Yeah.
fly
Oh,
back.
bummer.
And yeah, so it was a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
But that's all right. It worked out.
Yeah. Totally.
So we'll see if Glenn pops up here in a couple of minutes. If not, that's okay. So you've had a busy summer, it sounds like, going around and debating and whatnot.
Yeah, it's been, I can't believe it's August, and yeah, I've got a 3-year-old's birthday party to plan. That's actually my next event, so that's, gonna be a big one. So, but yeah, I mean, again, like I don't travel a lot, so I feel lucky to have entered the space when a lot of people were doing like Zoom debates. It's like
Yeah,
kind of nice because I could just do them at like 9 p.m. while my daughter's
sure.
sleeping. It's like very easy. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
we're on
but
every night. There's
yeah,
something on
nice.
every single night. Now, I'm not. I do. I do something else, but any night of the week you can get a debate if you want. That's
Well,
no
I've been
problem.
trying to do TikTok live more. I have a better setup now, and those debates are fun. So I'll set up with like 3 prompts about abortion, maybe transgenderism, or something about like IVF and surrogacy, and then feminism. And people come up just from TikTok or whatever, and it's fun. A lot of the women get very upset about the feminism stuff, and they'll just kind of rage about it. But
I watched Andrew's TikTok invasions. I think they're pretty
Those
hilarious.
are fun. Those are fun. I wish I knew how to like do that sort of technology where he's streaming in all these places, but
Oh, that's easy.
I'm like one thing at a time, and like I can't get into the streaming space yet. Like I don't really care about like Twitch or anything. Like, I don't. It's like I just got into YouTube. Like TikTok's been okay. Like you know, and I've done some fun debates there, and it honestly feels like practice. Like I'm like I just get some of the points out. I hear the arguments, especially with abortion. But I try to do that like once or twice a week, and then doing like reaction videos on YouTube, stuff like that. But yeah, it's like I kind of just let the opportunities come my way. I just say yes to everything, and then.
What industry are you in? I mean, do you argue every day for work or?
No, I work. I don't like to I don't want to give it away because I work in let's say like hospitality kind of with private families kind of it's nothing nefarious. I made it sound weird, but like it's a normal job, but it's
well, I mean, there's like private chefs and New York's lousy with those because
it's something like that. Like I work with families and things like that. So but it's a good job. It's I like it, and it's flexible enough where I get a good amount of time with my daughter during the week, and her grandparents help take care of her, and we have a very like multi-generational setup going on here, and so it offers flexibility. It's not a hard job. It's fine, and then I have some time, on nights and some weekends to do this stuff. But I hope to be able to write for a living, or if social media could be more lucrative for me, that'd be great. I have very low expectations for it, but it's just fun. I like to just see where it'll go in a year. I've got 20 something thousand on Instagram, 13,000 on TikTok, like in a year. So I'm like, I can keep going, just see what happens. And done a few cool interviews because there's some, big spaces in New York, like the Free Press. I did an interview with them. People love the ex OnlyFans story, so I'll indulge in that. I don't find it that interesting. Like I'm like, that's like one of the least interesting things about
it was actually
my story.
So it was a lot more mild than because I didn't know anything about it except that I had known that you were a OF girl, which I took. So I took the sex worker part to be the OF part. Like I didn't realize that were two separate things. That's just me being me.
No, it's fine. It's confusing.
And then the honestly the more interesting parts were like the drug and alcohol abuse is pretty normal-ish, but it's like it's less prevalent in today's teen culture. That's more more of an adult thing now, right? People in their 20s. So when you're saying when you were you were doing this as a teenager, that's a little more like, oh, okay, it's odd. And then but you moved from apparently somewhere in Virginia or something like that to New York City, which New York City is just, it's a hellhole. I mean, it just is.
It's like a little degenerate playground. I mean, it's perfect if you are just like a little shithead. So, but like, I mean, the OnlyFans thing, I get people like the narrative of it, but for me, it just felt like one of the million weird, crazy things I did. Like, I'm just like, like that made sense that I did that. So, people like the headline of it all. So I expect people to bring it up. Like even Stardust brought it up in the debate. I mean, I brought it up, and then she's like, like you did that. That's your fault. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Who cares? Right. But so I expect it. But
all right. Well, here's the thing, right? And I argue with my own side on this a lot. So I don't know if you know who Lily Phillips is, right?
Sounds very familiar. Was she one of the fake? She was one of
the porn stars from like Australia or the UK or somewhere like that. Her and Bonnie Blue.
1,000 Men or something.
Yeah. And we actually did the math on it, figuring an average penis size of about 5 inches. The number, we ended up figuring out she took like 150 yards of cock in like 12
Wow.
hours or something. It's just math. It's not going to hurt you. It's just math.
That's
it's just like,
true. It's just
but that's
math.
crazy, right? Like when you think about it like that, it's just like, that's
Wild.
insane, right?
Yeah.
Like that's insane. So, so we figured that out. And I've maintained that the thing about, so with men, most men carry their stories in their face and in their eyes, and you can tell that dude's seen some things, or that dude's had a hard life or whatever. Women don't. And so like I used to say that Lily Phillips could change into a floral print dress, step off the bus in Nowheresville, Kansas, and nobody and say that she was a absolute virgin, pure heart, belle of the South, or whatever they in. I don't know what they have in Kansas, but whatever. Just a normal girl straight across the board, and nobody would know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like nobody, there's no way to. So when all of this talk about body count, all of this posturing about women being able, being used up or any of that kind of, that's all mental. That's all what you do in your mind, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's on the woman. It's not on the dude. The dude doesn't know. Women lie to men all the time, like absolutely 100% lie.
Totally.
And men will believe it, right?
Oh yeah.
And so when we talk about, when men especially start talking like just ridiculousness, like, oh, I could tell if she's got a high body count. No, you can't.
No,
you absolutely can't.
Yeah.
And famously, there's this thing that I said one time. Jake Varg tries to bring this up in arguments sometimes, and I'll own it. So if I were to, like, let's just say I'm dating this girl and she's told me when asked, that she's only been with 2 or 3 guys, and we get, go through this, the courtship, and we're about to get married. And the night before the wedding, she comes to me and she says, I can't lie anymore. I actually, I've been with 60 men, and, and I was railed, several times or whatever. Would that matter to me? I'm like, absolutely. I couldn't marry her because she lied to me.
Right.
It's not the 60 dude part, right? Like,
right,
that's gross. Right. That's gross. That's a conversation.
Yeah.
That we should have had 6 months ago or a year ago or whatever.
Yeah.
That's gross. That's a conversation needed to be had.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the real crux of the issue is you sat there and lied to my face for months, allowing me to believe this narrative. And that's why I would not be able to marry that person.
Yeah.
And it's hard for some people to get their heads around that. Like these are the important things. There are very important things in relationships, I think, that we all need to care about. I think that regardless of whether you're feminist or non-feminist, or you're super trad or you're not, because you don't know. The thing about the one of the best and one of the most annoying things about women is they are able to reinvent themselves very easily, and you just don't know.
Right. Like, no, sure.
And so I think it's interesting with the way society, especially the red pill, has kind of come out and said, well, if she's had more than 5 dudes, she can't pair bond. Well, it's a lie. That science is inconclusive.
Yeah,
that's just something you're telling yourself. And all that means is that women now say, instead of saying they've been with several dudes, they say, oh, I've been with three people.
Right. You're just changing the lie.
Yeah. Just change the lie. Right. You just recalibrate the lie.
Right.
And I just don't, it's like, I don't understand. Well, I mean, I do understand it, but it's hard to watch this repetitive cycle of people, especially women in the space, be so bad, and men just ignore it because they want to believe that. And that's all I
Right.
can come up with is they want to believe it.
Yeah. No, that's
And
true.
and we see that with, like, I think that one of the things that's really good about what you're doing is you are, whether you think about it this way or not, but you are forcing women to hold themselves accountable for what they've done, right? So when we're talking about especially abortion, right? Like there are women that have had abortions that now have to face that and
Hmm.
hold themselves accountable for that. There are women out there who, when we talk about being feminists, we definitely have women out there who really truly believe that it's okay for them to take advantage of men because equality, because men were going to do it to them anyway, right? Or
Right.
whatever the story that they want to tell themselves.
Hmm.
And I think that it's a really, really valuable um, piece of knowledge to just be like, look, most of these people are going to lie. Not everybody lies. I used to say everybody lies. Not so sure anymore, but it's a high number. Like I'm not going to put a number on, but it's a high number. And so we honestly, men and women just need to be better to each other to start with, and then after that, I think it's okay. But what's your experience has because I'm sure that you have female friends and you've had a little bit of a life going out there. What's your experience been in that kind of realm? Obviously, I don't think were Lily Phillips level of debauchery, but
No, I wasn't. But yeah, I mean, most of my female friends, that I had in the city were very leftist, very feminist. And yeah, like all these things that you're talking about, very normalized. The feminist lens of, what can men do for me? If he wanted to, he would kind of language. And a lot of the friends I knew were around my level of debauchery, drinking, promiscuity. Like we all kind of just fed off each other's energy, whatever. And,
sure.
a lot of victim mindsets, especially
Mhm.
because I was friends with a lot of people that were on my level of substance and drinking. And there's nothing an addict and alcoholic does better than being the victim, right? And being like,
Mhm.
everything's everyone else's fault and I can't help it. My addiction is everyone else's fault. And, we're just like a bunch of like selfish little babies. And so there was also
Fair
that
enough.
where it's like I was definitely around people that had that kind of mindset and would use, like the fake virtue signaling, issues of Palestine
Mhm.
and, my body, my choice to like prop up some fake morals when they really had no morals. Because like even what you're saying about like the lying, it's like, yeah, of course people lie when they're living some secular, world of there's no reason that lying is even bad in the first place. Like they don't even have this moral foundation of like why it would be bad because it's just a means to an end most of the time. And so yeah, like it's hard to, you know, that's why I was so drawn to Catholicism because I'm like,
Mhm.
it almost feels like the tough parenting that I need or something, like the tough love of like, hey, like
I'm
you are
surprised
a
you didn't go
sinner.
Orthodox.
I was like between the two, like, and I had a lot of conversations and listened to a lot of debates, and I still am listening to debates, but I was really drawn to the church I go to and the priest
Mhm.
that took me through my conversion, and
Yeah.
like I just felt like, okay, like this is what I need. I need to go and get on my knees in confession and talk and have that thought in my head every time I lie, every time I do. It's like I need this accountability. I need the tough love of like, you know, you need to be sorry. Are you sorry? Like, like you did something bad. Like, and I also needed the grace of it all, because people talk
Okay.
about, these issues like they forget there's like people attached to them where it's like a lot of these women I knew, yeah, they're like acting like pieces of shit, but like they're in pain. Like a lot of them been through a lot of really fucked up stuff. It's like I'm not giving them an out. Like I think I agree with you that like accountability, like women need to be accountable, and I try to be very accountable. Like I try to be like, I did what I did. I have no expectations for how people are going to take that or what they're going to do with that information. But that's the truth. But it's also like that's what's so great about coming to Christ, is because there's so much grace involved. And like,
Mm.
that's really a beautiful gift to give to yourself and to face the world with too, knowing that you have the grace of God, you know, even however else people want to judge you and things like that. So, but you have to, like, that's what I think the, you know, Catholic and the Orthodox Church offers, is like, yeah, God's grace is there if you want it, and if you get on your knees and like basically take accountability for it, you know, like you have to like do the work. You can't just like, you know, that's where some of the grifting comes in, I think, where it's like, well, just Jesus loves me no matter what I do. And it's like, I guess, but like, you know, if you don't want his grace and don't enter into it through confession and through these sacraments, then like, sorry, bye, like you're not getting it, like
Right.
you're like, you know, like, and it made sense
Yeah.
to me. It's like the tough love of like, hey, I'm here for you and I love you, but like you have to come to me, like you know, you're the one that's
Oh yeah.
separated from me forever, like. And I feel very good in the Catholic Church, and very at home there, and it's done a lot, and it continues to challenge me. And I you know, you asked me what other debates I like, and I love the Catholic versus the, well, Catholic versus secular, Catholic versus Protestant, especially. Like I love that stuff. So yeah, it's hard being in the online space so long, because you kind of start to see people as caricatures, you know, of like, oh, here's the caricature of the OnlyFans girl turned whatever, or the caricature of the red pill guy, or the caricature of this. And it's like, yeah, there's definitely like certain scripts or something, but it's like, that's why I like debate, because it's like you connect, you talk to people. It's like people are just people with ideas and stories, and like the
Sure.
real world isn't this black and white, you know, the world is hard, and like people go through things. And yeah, so I love people's stories, and I
Yeah.
think it's important.
For sure. For sure. I'm gonna have to have you back on a weekend when we can go later, because
Yeah.
it seems like that. I know that you've got to go, and I'm like, "Ah, man, I don't want to like be pushy.
No, it's
But
good. I have nights are good for me most of the time. Anytime after around 9, my daughter goes, whenever she goes to bed, around 8:30.
yeah, 9 o'clock
Yeah.
your time's 8 o'clock my time, and that's when
Yeah.
I normally go live, is 8 o'clock in the evenings.
Yeah,
So
I've got time, as long as, you know, in advance, a week or so in
sure.
advance, and I'm
Okay.
good for it.
All right. A week or so in advance.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, or if you text me one day, you're like, want to come tonight, and I can, I will. So don't be
Okay.
afraid
All right.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do that. I don't know that. I don't know when a good time is, but we'll figure it out, because I want to have you back on it. This has been a really good discussion, and I, I I feel like there's a lot of like ground left to cover, right? Not just with the debating and all of that, but like just um, you know, from the feminist viewpoint, the progressiveness, you know, how you came out of being a progressive liberal into being conservative, or at least center conservative. I don't know how conservative, you know, really you can be in New York. It's terrible. It's terrible to be there.
There's some pockets you'd be surprised of conservatism. So
I have like friends of mine who live in like upstate New York, or
Mhm.
you know, way kind of far outside the cities, and they're basically the same as us in Tennessee, but
Yeah. Outside this, I'm not in the city anymore, so yeah, it's like, trust me, there's
yeah,
conservatism.
yeah, it's, you know, it's so weird when I've traveled the country many times, and I've been a lot of different places, and it's so odd to me to see people that are just like really left, like really left. And I'm like, this is insane. Like, what are
I
you doing?
know. I'm like, I have no desire to go to like Portland or like, you know, like Oregon. Like, I'm like, no.
Right, right.
Like, there's
Yeah.
some spots where, even some spots in Brooklyn now, I'm like, no thanks. Like, I just can't even stand it. Like, and I used to eat it up, you know? Now I'm like, it actually makes me like nauseous. Like, I can't.
My wife loves New York because she loves the shopping.
Fair.
But I do not like New York much at all. Like I really hate going there. And just like it's like 3 or 4 days at a time is like the most I can take.
No, I like get stressed there. I'm like don't feel safe. I'm like always looking at like in the city, Manhattan, and then everywhere else I'm just like it's just cringe here. Everything's overpriced, everything's
Yeah.
loud, annoying, and yeah, it's like
Well,
whatever.
back in like pre-COVID, like in
Mhm.
2020, we had a place in what's called Tudor City, which
Okay.
is in Manhattan, like 32nd, I think.
Okay.
They shot a Spider-Man movie on top of the building.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we were it was a nice loft apartment. It wasn't bad, it wasn't great, it wasn't bad. It was a really nice building, and we were like right around the corner from the UN.
Oh, nice.
So and it was a safe, like it was safe, like you could walk anywhere you wanted, it didn't matter, no, everything. And then like right before COVID happened, it changed because they changed the law to where like basically they weren't putting people in jail at all.
Right.
And
It's like
like
cool idea.
overnight, you could feel the change.
Yeah. I remember that time. And COVID made it worse. Like COVID
COVID
was
absolutely made it
wild.
worse.
I was in the city for COVID. I was in
Oh,
in
you
my
were?
apartment on the Upper West Side, yeah.
Mhm,
And I was just stuck in my apartment and it was
mhm.
miserable and weird and
Yeah.
dystopian. And then yeah, it got worse. Then it was like the BLM stuff. It was so
Mhm,
freaking
mhm.
weird.
Yeah. What was funny is during COVID, so COVID happened in like January, February. Our lease in that apartment was up in like June or late June or early July. And so my wife's like, "Hey, you need to um you need to you need to go to New York and empty out the apartment." So I rented a truck here in Tennessee and drove to New York. I spent 3 days in the apartment, didn't leave the apartment
Yeah.
because literally you couldn't go anywhere anyway.
Yeah.
You had to wear a mask,
Yeah.
couldn't go anywhere, and I've never seen so many moving trucks in Manhattan.
I
Like
know.
people were fleeing
People
the
were out.
city,
Yeah.
like literally fleeing,
It was
and
wild. Empty.
it was absolutely wild. And like so many people were moving out of the building that the guy who was helping me, he's like, "Oh yeah, I got to do 3 of these today.
Oh my
3
goodness.
of these
Yeah,
move
I
out."
believe it. Yeah,
And
people left. And then the city never recovered. I swear it was like weird after that. It was just like it's still bad.
it's dangerous in Manhattan again. I mean, and it's an interesting statement because previously um it was not dangerous in Manhattan.
It's
Like,
funny you say that because I'm like I moved there in like 2014,
mm,
something like that. And I lived in Brooklyn, like not even a great part of Brooklyn, and I was like I didn't care. And then I lived in Harlem and I lived in Upper West Side and I moved around Manhattan. And I never felt unsafe ever in the city. And I never knew if it was because I was drinking so much that I just didn't care.
mm,
I'm just like, I have no regard for my life and I'm not scared because I'm drunk all the time. Or if it was just genuinely safer. And then, like, post COVID, like things were weird. And then when I moved out of the city and I'd come in sometimes, like, I'm like terrified. And I'm like, maybe that's just because I'm a mom now. And like,
mm.
I gotta get home to my daughter. But like, I actually think it's what you're saying more, where it's like it's actually just unsafe. And I hear stories like all the time now of just stabbing and shooting and stabbing and shooting and push on the
Right.
tracks. And it's like,
Yes.
oh my
Yes.
goodness, what's
Stabbings,
happening?
shootings, like
Yeah.
all of this stuff. Like it would be just crazy. And I remember like you could, like my wife could would bicycle from the apartment to at that time she worked for uh credit, well, was that she at CSN? Anyway, she worked in Manhattan, and she could just bike to work. It was no big deal.
Yeah.
No big deal. And after, I'm telling you, it just the whole vibe of Manhattan changed.
Yeah.
And and the reason why I just kind of harp on that is because Manhattan's where all the money is. That's where all of the
Right.
people were like they want it to be safe,
Of
and
course.
and it was just absolutely crazy, that it became so, um just the change that was made, right?
Yeah, and it's only getting worse with Mr. Mamdani, so it'll continue to
It
decline,
is in
no
fact
doubt.
getting worse.
Yeah.
That it is in fact getting worse, and more money's fleeing. I think, there's like 150 billionaires in New York City, and that number is changing almost daily. So
Yeah, it's like
it's
they're
going to
just
be
gonna run out of
interesting.
money, so we'll see
Yeah,
what happens.
it's
But
going to be tough.
yeah.
Going to be tough, but I'm glad that I'm glad that we moved to the other side of the city, or out of the city into New Jersey.
Mhm.
Even though Jersey has its problems too, and
Sure.
I would sell that apartment, like, honestly, if I thought that it was worth the time and effort to sell it, I would sell it and get rid of
Fair.
it.
Yeah.
But it's probably not. It's probably not worth it.
Yeah.
But somebody, and people that live in Manhattan want to live there
Totally.
because they can literally just take the train over every morning, or the subway over every morning, or take the ferry. Like, we're 1 block from the ferry station, so it's like,
Nice.
it's so easy. And you come up in the Oculus, so
Oh, yeah.
so it's like super easy.
Yeah, that's
But
great.
yeah, I can't believe the change. I mean, and that's just one thing, right? Like, I couldn't imagine, like, living there while that was happening. Like, it was rough being there like 4 days.
No, it was weird. And I was like still kind of a liberal then, so I was kind of like, yeah, masks and like whatever, and
Yeah.
your vaccine, can't wait. And
I came from Tennessee where there was no mask mandate.
yeah. I would go home to Virginia and like my dad was like, we're not wearing masks here. And I was like, you have to wear masks. I was so annoying. But then I was kind of like, all right, this is actually great. I was so annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a woman thing. I was so annoying.
Yeah.
But it's funny because when I left Tennessee, like on the trip up there was a lot of talk about New York wasn't going to allow people from Tennessee to come in. Like, it was like Tennessee, Alabama, and a bunch of states that that had
Didn't have the
basically
mandate.
said no to mask mandates,
Right.
and no to the first round of whatever
The shot. Yeah.
the shot was. And we were like, no, we're not doing it, and we're definitely not doing it mandatory. So that New York was talking about closing the city, and you couldn't come in if you were from Tennessee. And I'm like,
gosh,
here I am. I'm coming up.
I'm coming.
I got a truck and a tray. I had a truck, and I
That's
loaded
wild.
everything. Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it was like while I was driving up, they were talking about it on the radio, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll see if they'll let me in or not.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know how they're going to keep me out. I'm in a truck. I mean, what are you going to do? Like, check my license plate?
Yeah, that's bizarre, but not surprising, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was an experience that actually really. And prior to that, I didn't really mind New York, because I didn't like going there, but I didn't mind. It wasn't like now I can't stand it. Like, I just can't
same. I feel like it's a burden if I have to go in there. If someone's like, come in for this, I'm like, I dread it. I stress about it. I hate it. Like, I might even hate that more than flying, and I hate flying. So it's like,
I don't mind flying. I fly, no problem.
It's a new fear. I don't know what happened to me, but something happened where I'm like terrified. I used to not care, and now I care. I don't know what happened to me, but
yeah, I don't know. That's weird. That is a weird one. I'm gonna go with weird on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Irrational, no doubt.
You're irrational. Just being an irrational woman. That's all.
Classic. Can't help it.
Classic irrational woman. That's true. That's true. Well, hey, it's been a great conversation. I don't want to keep you. I know that you've probably got to get up in the morning or do something important. So if you want to stay, that's great. I'll chat for another hour easily. But I'm trying to be respectful of your time.
Yeah. It's 11 here. It's past my bedtime, but I would love to come on another time. I'm always happy to chat, and if you have other people that come up, you just message me. And
if you happen to be on during the day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm on noon to 3 Central Time.
Okay. Yeah, usually I'm working, but I do have some chunks of time off in the summer, so we'll see. Depends. But then I have my toddler, so
I do a show. Yeah, I do a show called The Day Shift, where I talk about news, and politics, and all that kind of stuff. And then in the evenings, I will occasionally debate Monday night. I don't really now this was last year's schedule. My kids' school schedule can skew this. We don't know what the schedule is going to be. So right now it's going to be, I'm trying to keep it the same, but we'll see. But Tuesday nights, I don't do anything. I don't stream at all Tuesday. And Wednesday night, I do things like this. I try and do interviews on Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights seems to be like a really good, like nonchalant, people are really willing to talk. They're not trying to like get out of the house to go catch a movie or anything like that. So Wednesday nights would be good about that. And then, Friday night, I will, Friday night, I do a chill stream where just come in, whatever, we can debate, we'll go find trouble to get into, we'll talk crap all over the internet, or whatever today's issue is. So Friday night's a chill stream, and then Saturday night, when I'm on Saturday nights, which has been really hard lately, is the debate game show. So that's and I don't stream it all on Sundays unless there's something really big going on.
Okay, sounds super fun.
Super easy schedule.
Yeah, no, and I'm definitely interested in that debate game on Saturdays if you ever do that. So that's super fun. But yeah, keep me in mind for stuff. And if you're ever just like, I want to talk to Taylor more, you just message me. I'm pretty around. So
okay, all right, yeah. Well, think about some good feminist and anti-feminist topics, and we can certainly talk about it. I think it was bad timing with Rogan today. Yeah, so Andrew's on Joe Rogan right now. So
I think I saw that.
Yeah, so he's like sucked all my audience away.
That's cool. Good for him though. That's great. Yeah. I watched his first one, so that's great.
Yeah. That Andrew's awesome. He's a good dude. So.
I believe it. Seems like a genuinely nice guy.
You missed him. He was at the event. You missed him.
Oh, really?
He came by. Yeah, he came by.
Yeah, I would like to meet him and his wife, who was obviously inspired me a lot, and I've read her book, so I enjoy her arguments. So yeah, hopefully one day I can say hi to them.
Oh, absolutely. You'll definitely end up meeting them for sure. Nice. But well, it was great having you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'll let you go to bed. I feel like I was kind of holding you here, and I didn't want to do that.
I enjoy. It's so nice to just like chat, and it was so. Thank you again for Dallas and inviting me, and you guys were really 100%. Hospitable, and I had a really great time. So,
all right, well, great, awesome. Well, too bad I don't have a Yelp. You could leave me a Yelp review.
I would give you 5 stars.
5 stars. All right. Well, for all of the people still hanging out with me, we have Taylor, and Taylor is going to say goodnight and go to bed, I guess.
All right. Thanks, guys. And you can follow me everywhere at Taylor is online 0. That's my thing everywhere. X, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. So
yeah, we got it in the description and everything.
Thank you.
So you guys go visit Taylor. So.
Amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Talk to you soon, Taylor. You have a great rest of your night.
You too.
And for the few members of chat that have hung around and stuck it out this length of time, I really appreciate it. And glad for each and every one of you that stuck it out. I'm going to send you guys over to Beth's, and I may pop on over there, and then I'm going to I've got to get up out of here. I really appreciate you hanging out, and we will catch everyone later. See you.
Did you know if you put your top lip and your bottom lip and you press them together, you will experience how to shut the fuck up?